following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.
This isn't just a game, this is iRacing. Once a year, we come to Charlotte Motor Speedway and race one of the longest nights in all of Sim500 racing, and tonight is that night. It is the 5th running of the Never Quit 240, hashtag Never Quit 240 here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's race number 12 of the Sim500 NC811.org Cup Series season, and it is here on the Captain Esports Network. And the Captain, we welcome you in after what has seemed like forever for me being on the air last Wednesday. Back here with you again for another league broadcast and a lot of fun. Kevin England, of course, joining us this evening. Kevin, obviously you've been a part of this event now for multiple seasons. And of course tonight being a night that, the title is about obviously Bryce Whitson, who we lost to cancer, of course, and that's what the whole Never Quit titles too. But there are so many other factors and people that we honor in this race, and we're going to talk about somebody we're going to raise money for here in the very near future. But Kevin, this is a big race for this league.
Yeah, coming home to Charlotte is like putting on a nice, comfortable sweatshirt. You know, one that you pick out of the closet you really like. You come here to race for fun, for a purpose, for bragging rights, and couldn't think of a better racetrack to do it than Charlotte Motor Speedway. And I'll tell you, you watch these guys in practice, you could just feel the little spring in the step, a little something magic in the area as these guys are. They just like this racetrack, Chris, like us. It's home.
It is.
And yeah, it's the way that you drive through the corners down the backstretch, and then you look at the purpose of the race, and everybody is here to have a good time tonight.
And some of us are already 600 miles strong into this week here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Just ran a special event Sunday morning into the afternoon time, and we've gotten plenty of practice here at this track, and a lot of guys going to get some good racing done here as we go into the nighttime here of this race. Now, obviously, the point standings. Let's talk about that as we go into the race, because we are quickly catching the halfway point in the regular season, and Kevin King is a 38-point advantage over Tyler Dalton, Mike Kelly, Chad Coleman, Josh Parker, your top 5 in points. 20th place is your bubble, and that's where we see Rod Mitten right now. They're in 20th. Robert Fryery's right down there with him. Patrick Colby, Matt Rodolasso, Cody Giles, Livingston, Wortman, Kevin DeBrown, all those guys right in there. And again, the main rule you need to know is you cannot miss more than 4 races. This is race 12 tonight right now. Nobody in the top 30 is in jeopardy, but it's getting close already for like Joe Hudson, Kevin DeBrown, Charles Van Schaik, Scott Stenzel. They've already missed 2 races. If they get down to 4, then they will be eliminated, unfortunately, from playoff considerations. So practice is just wrapping up here as we're going to go into qualifying as they qualify for the Notes Below Call Before You Dig 811 Pole Award. Now, Kev, obviously we talk about Bryce Whitson. That's one guy that this race, the Never Quit 240, is named after. You're also going to see the name Judah, which, of course, is the grandson of Stoney Benfield that we honored last year. And, of course, we think about, and didn't see if Stoney got in here or not. I know he was going to try to run this race tonight. I do not see his name on the entry list, so hopefully he'll get in here in the next couple minutes, but we definitely want to send our best to that family there. But tonight we're actually going to raise some money for another individual. And of course, for those who are interested in doing that, all you got to do is you can reach out to me and I'll get you connected to Joey Jatina or Sim500 or to the Facebook page there on the Sim500 Facebook page. But tonight, we're actually going to raise money for a young man who has been, he's had some struggles lately and trying to get back on his feet. And we talked about it, and it was like, you know, maybe he's the best option tonight, and that being Brian Wortman, the driver, of course, in the series. He'll be in this race here this evening. So if you want to help out, of course, and as we always trying to raise some money in this event for somebody tonight, we're going to do it for Brian Wortman. So if you are interested in helping out, again, contact me or Joey, sim500.com, go to the Facebook page or wherever, and you can find out how you can do so. So we'll talk about that here throughout this evening. But the cars are on track right now, Kev, and already seeing some pretty fast laps. As we're probably going to see fastest laps of the night right here at this part of the race because we're already under the lights, track's getting cool, and we're going to be flying around here.
Yeah, these drivers shaking down their cars, just trying to get the right entry into the corners, the right exit, how to pick up the throttle. And, you know, one of the things that they're trying to also understand, Chris, is the long run.
Yeah.
We're going to see some long runs here tonight. I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah, it's a 240-mile race. We are running the longest race that is not a Talladega or Daytona race tonight. As Fuller right now with a 29.64 is on the pole. A Charles Van Schaik with a 67 P2 Comstock. Wetzel jumps to P4 as we watch Mark Jorgensen as he goes across the line, and he goes P3 with a 29.68. But the long run is going to be interesting because you're going to see a car that the right front tire is going to just fall off as Dalton 29.56. Wow.
Yeah, where did that come from?
Now, there's one guy in the 5.5-mile races we've had this season that has won 4 of the poles. And he's just coming on track now to complete his first lap, and that's his 29 car of Kevin King. Now, Mr. England, I might shock you with this one. Kevin King has 4 poles, 2 wins in 5.5-mile starts. He has a rating of 120 plus on the 5 tracks per Sim Racer Hub. There is not another driver above 100%.
Yeah, you know, this is the type of racetrack that when you're good, you're going to shine. The haves and the have-nots will be pretty disparate tonight, and someone like Kevin, I'm sure that he has put in thousands of laps at this racetrack, and I suspect that he's going to be really difficult to beat tonight.
29.6 for Kevin King as he goes P2 right there behind Tyler Dalton. Now, Dalton is one of those guys I talked about earlier, ran the 600 race on Sunday. So he's got, he won the pole for that race too. So he's got a little bit of qualifying advantage maybe here and some of the guys who ran in that race. And the reason why I keep bringing that up is because I attempted to run that race myself. But pretty much became a 600-mile test session for me when it was all over with. But hey, Joe Hudson, 29.64 as he goes P4. It's a good lap there. Who else we got on track here looking to run a lap? Carl Lavage is out there right now. Let's check on him in that 60 car.
Donnie Leah in here tonight. Expect him to be fast.
Yeah, I don't know if Leah's hit the wall or something both times, but he did not complete a lap either way. See Jorgensen there in 10th. Carl Lavage going to be 11th in his lap. Brian McElhenney was fast in practice. He only got a 29.89. He's P25. Everybody else is pretty much off the track. So it looks like Tyler Dalton will get another pole here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Congratulations to him. And we'll take advantage here and we'll jump trackside for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, grid is set for the Never Quit 240 here, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Virtually on iRacing as we show you the starting lineup for the race as Tyler Dalton gets the pole, 29.563 seconds. He will start on the inside alongside Kevin King, who of course has been the hottest driver on the Cup side of things here these last few weeks, picking up 4 wins I think in the last 6 races. Justin Fuller and Joe Hudson there in row number 2. Nelson Rivera, Adam Benfield, another great qualifying effort for the 83 car. He'll start there in row 3. Joey Stone, Anthony Calantoni in row 4. Charles Van Schaik and Mark Jorgensen there, row 5. Row 6, Jason Carlovage and Eric Arnold. And by the way, I'll explain the whole change in the background. You notice it's more daylight than it was for qualifying, as that was done on purpose, by the way. Row number 7, Mike Kelly, David Comstock, Chad Coleman, Kevin DeBrown, Justin Mons, who had his best run last week, starts 17th there at Scott Simley. Richard Beasley, Bobby Wetzel in row 10. Wesley Donaldson, Robert Fryery to 3rd, row 11. Row 12, Cody Giles, Joey Jettina. Brian Macklin, Alan Wild, Scott Stenzel, Mike Montesi, Stone, Gonzalez, Leah Parker, Colby, Ronald Lasso, Joachim Sigmund, Wertman Schrader in Livingston. Your 39 starters in the race. They will go 240 miles, 160 laps, 79 degrees, 40%. Of course, it's dusk right now. We will end this race under the lights. It is a Sim500 tradition called the Never Quit 240 as we honor Bryce Whitson, of course, a former driver in this series, as it looks like we're going to get an extra lap here to talk here for a second. So we honor Bryce Whitson, of course, who is a former league member here at Sim500, who passed away, of course, of cancer. And then, of course, you have the young man Judah, who's the grandson of Stoney Benfield, that we wish nothing but the best to those guys. That, again, I look over, I don't see Stoney on the list tonight, so hopefully he's doing well, and hopefully some of Stoney's people will stop by, and maybe we can get a word with them, or at least say hi, I guess. As yeah, we get ready to go green. So any kind of different thoughts, Kev, as we come to the green flag here, of like what goes through your mind at Charlotte? Because this is a different race.
I just look at the number of laps and think to myself, how do I split this race up? What's the complexion of the race going to be? Am I going to have a lot of cautions? Is it going to run green? Am I going to have green flag pit stops? And then I work it backwards. What happens if this happens? How do I do it? What happens if that happens? How do I do it? And just have my options available, but you don't know. You don't know how it's going to break out. So you really have to be playing for all of those. I think a lot of drivers will be somewhat conservative in the beginning and then wait till the race breaks out before they decide how they're going to attack the track tonight.
My man, I think you hit on something right there, because one thing that has been announced is a little bit of a modification. They're tired of the cautions in the series, as I think we're wrecking already at the start of the race. Did Joey Stone spin out over here? Yeah, he's over here in the inside wall. Right on cue as we're about to come to the green flag, and he Never Quit 240. We'll see if Stone's okay back there in that 7 car. Matter of fact, I think you just told her something. The pit road as we go green from Charlotte.
He had a connection issue or something going on. He made a left-hand turn there, went down and tapped the inside wall, but we're green. As they race down to the backstretch, Tyler Dalton side by side right now as they head into turn 3.
Dalton going to clear. Kevin King there as Fuller fills into third position. Our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. They're online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. And one thing I started to say there is a new point system for incidents, basically, and that counts also with the incident points in the race. So there's a whole big change that was announced this week from Joey Jatina to try to clean all of this up. And I will say in the 600 that we ran on Sunday, we had 7 cautions in that race. And a couple things we'll point out to you right now. You can go about 65 to 70 laps on fuel, and that 70's pushing it. Probably going to be more 67 laps. But that right front tire, you have to save because it will burn down. I actually, in my first stop, had all of 11% on my right front tire.
Wow. that is.
But I also had damage to the right side, to be fair.
You dig there.
Yeah, I definitely had right side damage from almost running over the boss man at the start of the race. So there were a lot of issues there. I'm up for second. Fuller and King already going to battle here at lap 3.
Yeah, I think Fuller served last week that he is going to be one that is going to contest for this. He's not letting Kevin King walk away with the prize so early as they're side by side down the back straightaway. Fuller comes even, and he is on the throttle down there on the bottom. There are drag race out of turn number 4 following Tyler Dalton, who's led from the beginning. Fuller not able to wrestle that away from King. King still fighting tough to the outside. Fuller noses ahead right now, but here comes the charge from the outside. Fuller's a little loose on the bottom.
That will happen here. You easily can slide up the track. That middle is a very good defensive line to have, and that's what Kevin's using right now. Fuller's sliding up the track just a little bit there, as you mentioned, and King's going to use that as a defensive line right now. You can do that here at this track, but look at Nelson Rivera up to the 4th position. How about Jill Hudson there, 5th, Charles Van Schaik and the Adam Petty paint there in 6th, and King, crossover move, going for the lead on Dalton.
King down underneath, noses ahead as they come off to the back straightaway. Dalton, he got the points that he wanted, but he really would like to have that clean air. I'm sure he's not going to fight too hard for this as they realize this could be a long run, but I think King is going to come out top here. He's decided he wants to get out front for the first time tonight.
Dalton leads that line, leads that lap. Now, one person we're going to keep an eye on tonight is Richard Beasley. Why do I say that? Richard Beasley obviously having a great season so far points-wise. He was the fastest car in practice and just ran the fastest lap of the race at lap 6. So this 10 car's got a little something under as he goes past Eric Arnold, as he rips the boards here, as Joey Stone has returned to the track, by the way.
Yeah, right now the field kind of nose to tail, running around the apron. The 7-car Stone running slow coming up to the racetrack, a couple laps down here as field split up in the back there. You see like 7 or 8 cars split off. It must have been an incident that we didn't catch where it separated the field out a little bit.
I think it's just more people buying their time, saving their tires, because again, I think the long run is going to prevail in this race here this evening. You know, the one thing we figured out is you're going to get people that are going to pit probably lap 40 all the way to lap 65, lap 67. They're going to split these runs up. You're going to see people trying to go a 2-stopper. You're going to see people try to go 3 or 4 stops in this race. Of course, you got the yellows that are going to come to play, the strategies. I know some people that tried 2 tires this past weekend and it worked. So there are so many elements that are going to come into play here tonight in this race. And oh, by the way, we're only in the daytime right now. The top groove is more dominant right now. Wait till the nighttime when it goes to the bottom. As Kevin Stone looks like back off the track, so he is having some kind of connection issue.
Yeah, going back and looking through the tape, it does look like Randy Yoakum and the crew behind him just kind of tapered off the back of the field and running a different pace. Nothing crazy per se happening from that group, as even the top group have split away. And
Oh, Macklin slams the wall going into one. Tried to apex it a little wide there.
you'll do that, right? Try
Yes.
to get up and to drive down.
He tried to corner and missed.
You got to be careful there. You can bounce off the wall and not really have that much of a thing, but every once in a while, if you hit that wall the wrong way, you will damage your car quite considerably.
We ride with Patrick Colby here, 25th position with Robert Friery. We also got the 42 there of Scott Stenzel. As I mentioned, though, this top groove will work. The problem is, again, you're going to burn your tires up a little bit more up here until the track rubber's in, but there is a little bit more grip down in that bottom side of the track, right on that white line. Now, you got to be careful, and there's Macklin having some blinking issues there, because if you get your left front down on that white line a little too much, it will grab the car and try to spin it out. So you got to be very careful with what moves you make. As Kevin King, by the way, has gone to the front. He just took the lead from Tyler Dalton on lap number 11. Let's go back to it here as we were watching the other battle there. Tyler tried to push him up the track a little bit, but King just got the run down the back straightaway and cleared him for position.
Tell you, the car on the move is, as you called it earlier, Beasley. He's outside of Fuller, and it is complicated sometimes to make that high line work, but Beasley, he's on a rail right now, up to third in the Tide ride. That Ford looks pretty fast here in the early going.
Yeah, Beasley looking pretty good right now as Fuller falls to fourth. You see Rivera's falling to fifth. Biggest mover in the race right now, Donnie Leah, up 14 spots to the 17th position after starting 31st. Back here with Kevin Brown, Chad Coleman, and others right here with him.
The field kind of separating out into different pods as we watch the 88 car, the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar Camaro of Mark Jorgensen Jr. running in 10th. That first group 1 through 10 running nose to tail, and then you drop back just about a half a straightaway to the 2 of Mike Kelly running in the 11th position. So field is broken up a little bit as we got a battle for the lead one more time.
Dalton looking back to the inside here as these two battle it out. Oh, don't lean on each other, boys, because here's Mr. Beasley. Is this the battle we've been waiting on? Oh, caution.
Oh, yellow.
Alan Wild has gone around along with Mike Montesi. In the middle, 3 and 4, Yoakum about squeezes in there. Alan locks it down here and brings out the first caution here. The Wood Button car, unfortunately, having some issues here.
Just got tagged with Stenzel. Just got against each other going into the entry of the corner.
Let's see here is... Yeah. That's the same thing we saw at Darlington a lot. Oh, Montesi goes through him. He does have some nose damage, but otherwise just kind of neck codes right through him. But that's kind of a similar thing we saw here. Let's crash cam this thing real quick. We do got some cars coming to pit road.
.42 maybe moving up.
Yeah,
just
slightly.
now.
Yeah.
Like the 15 coming down.
Mm.
It really, if you watch the hash marks, you could see the 15 just kind of ease down.
And Mike just, I'm going to come through here.
Excuse me.
About half the field is coming to pit road here, led by King and Beasley and these guys here. And there's that, watch out. Oh, there's that drain cover I just found. Beasley up, there's that guy hitting it. We'll talk about that. Usually do, it's like it's the drinking word of Charlotte, the drain cover. We're not going to drink from it, but yeah.
Five sets of tires, but when you see long green flag runs like we anticipate here, then you have to take the opportunity to change the tires if a caution flies, because should you not do that and you end up having a long green flag run and others did change, you're going to be in a world of hurt when it comes to traction.
So I want to bring this up. Tyler Dalton tonight, a special paint scheme on this number 19. Tonight he brought this to my attention, and wanted to kind of put this out there. The Hunter 7 Foundation. This is something that Dalton is doing for a friend of his. I'm just going over here to his little comments to me as we talked about this this evening. A whole lot of info here, basically. It's specializing in helping post 9/11 veterans with cancer and treatments and research. Basically, what this is. So it's a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and of course you can check out the Hunter 7 Foundation. Look them up and get all the information there. But it's named after Sergeant Major Robert Bowman, who passed away at the age of 44. So just kind of in a nutshell there. But he actually has them above his door, his passenger door and stuff. So, but I just wanted to put that out there too, if Tyler wanted me to kind of mention that real quickly tonight. But as we go into Memorial Day weekend, of course, we think about those who fought for our country and done a lot of things for us.
Yeah, no doubt. As we love the patriotic schemes that we see out here tonight, quite a few drivers answering the call on Memorial Day weekend. Sharp-looking cars. Talking Giants car there, as you see, is just an outstanding rendition of that car.
Got the 41 there. It's got a little red, white, and blue to her. I think we can give that some credit. Eric Arnold's got the Wounded Warrior Foundation on his car, or the Wounded Warrior Project, sorry, on his car. Who else? I think I saw the 29 car had a little red, white, and blue to her. Kevin King there. Yeah, it's got the stars on the Reb Grips car. So
I can't discern what happened there under that. Why he and Beasley are back so far.
They all came to pit road. That is why. From 17th on back, all those guys came to pit road, and you got Sigmund and Wortman all topping off the fuel cell right now. So these guys have come in. It looks like a lot of them are fuel only here. And then you got a few of them with tires. Maybe one with two tires here. With Coleman, either that or he just stayed a little extra on pit road to get fuel. Some getting damaged, fixed, and so on and so forth. But the top 16 cars stayed out. Now, here's the interesting play, I guess, here pitting at this moment. You're at lap 17 when they come to pit road. You go this, we'll call it 67. It gets you to lap 84, past halfway. But then you still got to figure out the other 76 laps.
Yeah, I guess I'm just surprised that they're so far back. That's
Okay.
really kind of what I was looking at. Is I thought more drivers went to pit road, and the first driver with fresh tires is in 17th, Richard Beasley, in E81, having a little fun here on the back straightaway. But I just am kind of surprised that more drivers didn't take the opportunity, and that Beasley and King, who are the first two on fresh tires, are back there in the 9th row. That's pretty deep in the field, but I suspect they're going to carve through pretty quickly.
As pace car pulls in, they will hit the Geico restart zone right here at the chicane of the Roval right there. As green flag comes out, and you see, looks like Rivera spun the tires a little bit there on the restart. Outside line gets the advantage as Dalton leads him into turn one.
Yeah, side by side through the stack here in turns 1 and 2. They'll want to get to single file pretty quickly. Those drivers with tires will want to take advantage of that early, as one car up against the outside wall in the exit of turn 2. And Fuller asserting himself this time as he comes through turn 3 and 4. Fuller out front for the first time here at Charlotte.
Justin Fuller taking the lead, gets the bonus points there as the battle in the side-by-side there between Joe Hudson and Eric Arnold. Mike Kelly there behind him. No need to insult either driver whose names are involved there. As Mons dives low and goes 3 wide down the back. Got to be very careful. This is a tighter radius corner. Turn 3 and 4 is the turn 1 and 2. And that car wants to wash up the track. And now shades of 95, the All-Star race right there. We're Darrell Waltrip and Earnhardt and Gordon, and now 3 wide into 1.
And 3 wide out back too with Kevin King underneath Josh Parker. They got Robert Fryrie III to the outside as they squeeze up on the turn number 2. I'll tell you, King, he eased out of it just a little bit as up front it's not over. Tyler Dalton asserts a little bit of draft that goes back out front out of turn 4.
Boy, that first caution, it's like they had to kind of reset themselves here.
5 lead changes early here at Charlotte Motor Speedway as everybody's kind of on kill right now on these restarts. We know that when it comes to restarts, it's the best time to get a couple positions, but they really need to be careful and not overheat their tires as high line, low line, middle line, every line works at this racetrack. It's a great place to just put your foot down.
So you might wonder, as I've gone even deeper into the stats here tonight, as again, I learn Sim Racer Hub more and more each week, and I've dug deep into the Charlotte stats. This is the 10th race tonight in the Cup Series at either the Legacy Charlotte or this Charlotte. They're not 10 starts. Who's the driver with the best average finish, you might ask? Well, right now, he's not doing too well, but give it time. It's that 25th place driver, Jose Gonzalez. Believe it or not, has an average finish at this track of 11.9. He averages usually running up in the top 7. He's 24th right now, but give it time. I think that biggie bag's going to be up there in the top 10 here later on this evening, as we're 3 wide again with Van Schiken to turn 3 and 4. So just a couple names to watch out for. Jose Gonzalez, Chad Coleman, Nelson Rivera, Scott Stenzel.
Yeah, not a surprise to see Gonzalez. He's one of the masters in the long run. This type of racetrack does have a long run. His puller is way up in the marbles out of turn number 1 and 2. I saw the 77 of Fryrie get in the wall. I saw the 84 of Callan Tony in the wall. I think I saw the 20 of Tony Leah in the wall. These guys are using every physical inch of this racetrack.
One thing I do want to point out about the back straightaway here, it is, cuts the turf there a little bit. At this track, there's a little weirdness in it. And what I mean by that is if you've ever run this track, you know what I'm talking about. Down the back straightaway, when you're on older tires, your car seems to float right here. And it almost, you can feel your car kind of slide to the left or slide to the right like it's doing a cha-cha slide or something. And you make contact with the car. And this is one of those tracks where I purposely move down a half lane on the back straightaway from where I usually will run on the back straightaway, like against the wall. I will move down a half lane, like I will almost straddle the stripes, because it seems like that car just wants to move around. So just be aware of that. You'll see some of these cars probably do that here, and if I see it, I'll point it out.
Yeah, it comes off the corner, and then all of a sudden it
just moves around. Just kind of moves
a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell you the driver I'm surprised right now, running in the 23rd position. I would anticipate he's going to be great on the long run is Chad Coleman in the number 38. Just kind of pacing himself out in the back. He knows there's a lot of laps, and we're only working lap 30, but he and Kevin DeBrown, he's usually a hard charger, just kind of riding out back right now, pacing themselves.
Yeah, Chad Coleman averages an 8.7 finish here. This is easily the best average finisher in all of the Sim500 drivers at this track. Is that 38 bar. Give it time. I always, this is the one race where I like to quote one of my favorite hip-hop songs of all time. And yes, for those who don't know me, I do know my old school hip-hop a little bit. It is a band called Houdini from back in the day, and they have a song called The Freaks Come Out at Night. Reason being is when these lights come on and it goes nighttime, the cream rises. Everybody shows up in front. Who can run the best here? I think I have stunned Kevin.
Yeah, I'm just thinking right now about what's the next segment. Sorry, can you smell the wood burning? After a restart, when you get this number of laps and things kind of single file out, that really sets the tone for a long green flag run. Once they start to single out, then you start to work on what's out front of them.
Ooh, Dalton got the wall off 4.
Ooh,
Little kiss to it. I don't think it was too bad. But he's got Mike Kelly on his inside. As you see, Fuller has moved to the lead. Eric Arnold is now up to second. Eric, who had a helter-skelter run in that 600-mile race on Sunday.
he's not content to sit there in second. He's charging way down on the bottom there.
Oh! I thought they were going to come
drove
together.
off turn 4. If he didn't get loose, he would have led this lap as Fuller is going to be there.
I mean, the high line's going to be there until once his track cools down. Let's throw the weather up on the board here real quickly and show you track temp. We're set at 86 degrees right now, which is actually the coolest this series has seen all season. That track temp will likely go below 80 degrees before the end of this race.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's the common sense thing when the track pulls off, the grip comes on.
Mm-hmm. Which means the
And the
bottom
question
line.
is, does that make you better or does it wear your tires out? What's your vote on that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, here comes
More grip
Eric
and wears your
Arnold
tires
one
out.
more time. Down underneath, he got a good run down the backstretch. This time, not loose out of turn 4, and Eric Arnold, the Wounded Warrior Project number 31, goes to the lead.
Fuller going to try to get it back, though, down to turn 1 as he gets back to the inside with the draft. And brings that Units Toyota right to that bottom line, fresh off his trip to North Wilkesboro. He went and watched the All-Star race on Sunday. He was questioned if he could be here tonight, and as you see, he made it back in time. Donnie Leah into the picture now, third position for that 20 car, started all the way back in 31st.
And behind him, Josh Parker started 32nd.
Who followed him through the field?
Yeah. Parker got underneath the 20 of Leah and also to the door of the 51 of Fuller, but with the push out of turn 2, Leah hooked up in the tandem draft with Fuller. They're able to drive ahead. Now he's going to go 3 wide, set the middle.
Yikes!
Whoa, holy cow, is that tight coming off the corner.
Car on the move right now. Remember who I talked about was 25th about 10 laps ago? Let's go up here to the 12th position. Here sits Jose Gonzalez in the Wendy's 26. I show he had a 9-second pit stop, so I don't know if he took 2 tires there or not, or just put fuel in the car, but that 26 is driving right now.
I think some of these drivers contemplated fuel from the long run and tires, depending on how their strategy worked out. As we saw Kevin King, I think he took fuel only, but the balance of the car changes.
It actually frees it up, which kind of helps here because the right front takes a beating. It actually frees the car up a little bit. But I will say this, I think you're getting to the point now in this race where you're seeing who has torn up the tires and who hasn't, who's free falling, who's going backwards right now. Charles Van Schaik, 17th position all of a sudden here. Let's see, who else is up front there a little bit? Jorgensen's kind of hanging tight there. Calantoni back here to 19th right now. I mean, look at this wad of cars right here.
I wanted to go back to that pit cycle.
Tyler Dalton falls back to 9. Sorry, go ahead.
Kevin King pitted. He did take fuel only. And then when he got to the line, he stopped and let the 10 car go by. And usually you do that type of thing because you want to start on the inside or the outside and play that little game. But that was kind of an unusual move.
Something tells me it's a little fun between those two, but it could be something.
Could be. Yep. I think you want to give a leg up here, but I'm surprised and happy to see how hard these guys are running through this one.
As you say that, here's 3 wide.
Yeah. They're up on the wheel all the way through here. I'm surprised they're running so hard.
Yeah. 3 wide up ahead here with Calantoni. We're seeing 3 wide everywhere right now. Just at different portions of the track. Let's stuff here so far. Hey, let's step away real quick. Let's hear from 811. Come back and get you more racing here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Pit stop's going to be coming up here. The Never Quit 240 is green on the Captain Esports Network.
This tree is going to look great here.
Did you call 811 to protect your underground utilities?
I can't wait to see these roses come up.
Dig, dig, dig! Wait, we forgot to call 811.
Before you dig, make sure you can. Call 811 to know what's below. It's up to all of us to protect the ones we love.
.43 laps, just past quarter distance here in this Never Quit 240. Race number 12 here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Sim500 NC811.org Cup Series. It is the longest non-Talladega Daytona race on the schedule. And it is only see one caution here so far early in this race. Fuller has just gone back to the lead while we were under break, and he's still got Arnold right there, Josh Parker. And you pointed out already, Kev, 8 lead changes that started this race already.
Yeah, so far Tyler Dalton led 23 laps. He's kind of faded a little bit here as different drivers assert their charge on the field here. I'm seeing Mike Kelly now come into the mix to the top 5 as Eric Arnold and Justin Fuller are giving each other all the business down the back straight.
There is 4 tires coming up through the field right now, and that is Brian Macklin. As you see the worn out tires starting to come into play, Macklin kind of sat back, let this race come to him. And now he has got those 4 tires up to the second position, just past Arnold, and is going to look to get the lead here. Goes to the inside of the 51, so Brian Macklin.
For everyone we're talking about, there's a couple drivers we have not even mentioned today. They just haven't been in the fold. Wesley Donaldson running back there in the 18th position. He's following Cody Giles, who typically is somewhere in that mix. And a couple of these drivers, I'm not sure if this is just tactical, holding on to the car. We did see drivers go in and fill their tanks. A couple of them did take tires, but some of these drivers just have not. They're very wide back there. Joe Hudson to the outside.
Hudson's got an interesting paint scheme tonight. I won't go any further than that. But
Yes.
Rado also ripping the boards up there to the outside of Mons, and at the 7, I think Kevin Stone's finally got his car going. A couple cars scraping up the wall. Up contact. A couple teammates right there, and they save it. I think that was Mons back there. He and the 7 got together.
Yeah, Calvin Tony's running back there in the 20th position. Just has not made any noise tonight. Long way to go, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and they're right in the mix, or still in that lead pack, not that far back. As they come off the corner, they can see the leader enter into turn 1, which means they're still in contact for this race. Should there be a long
Here comes Kevin up the middle. Oh,
Hello.
Parker about got him.
That's trust. There's a lot of security in this track. And what I mean by that is you can trust the guy on the inside and the outside to hold their lane. They're pretty comfortable in tight situations, so to speak.
So Brian Macklin leads this race. He pitted, of course, with the caution at lap 17. Eric Arnold is 4th now, battling with Kevin King. Kevin's the next car that pitted on that caution. Mark Jorgensen Jr., he also pitted, and then down through the field a little bit. A mixture of different cars that are having their struggles. But, man, what a... I mean, these guys are just racing side by side. I mean, tough, good racing here. Hey, make sure you share with your friends and family tonight. I know there's been a hit and miss event of races here this week. We haven't been on since Wednesday. So I'll have to remind them that, hey, the captain's on, and his buddy Kevin's here too. It's going to be kind of like that again this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then nothing again until next Tuesday. So make sure you share with your friends and family. Let them know that the Captain Esports Network is on tonight. We've got ourselves a wild show here so far at Charlotte, the Never Quit 240, as we pay tribute to Bryce Whitson, who, of course, a former driver in the series. We also think about our friend Stoney Benfield, his grandson Judah, who, of course, we think about throughout the racing season. Of course, that young man was battling cancer himself as of last year. Hopefully, he's doing a lot better there. And of course, we think about all those that are struggling right now with health issues and that kind of thing. So, you know, just know you're not alone out there.
Good charge here for the number 83 of Adam Benfield. He is currently scored in 12th position. He's been kind of quiet this year, but I suspect sooner or later he's going to start putting together a number of good runs. He's certainly got the speed as he's tucked in the back bumper of the 19 of Tyler Dalton and just kind of pacing himself as, who's that going to pit road?
Parker. Josh Parker on pit road. I'm not shocked by this move at all. I thought we were going to see a really big pit window tonight, and we are seeing it right now as Parker, Hudson, Coleman, Patrick Colby all on pit road here. Lap 54 as Kevin King moves to second, by the way. 4 tires and fuel for all these guys.
He really carved off the banking and got in there. I wondered how fast he was when he went across the line. He could throw those Fritos down into the chili pretty well there.
How about a Frito pie?
Wow. I guess he's good to go as he comes back to the apron out of turn 2.
Well, this is simply separating the race into 3 is what he's doing.
Yeah.
As Mark Jorgensen has moved his way up to the second position, so he's starting to put the tires to work here on the long run, passing Kevin King as he took tires under that caution. More cars to pit road. Eric Arnold, Donnie Leah, Tyler Dalton, Kelly, and Wesley Donaldson.
Maybe a little trouble for the 38 of Chad Coleman who pitted. He was against that blue line and he hit the dreaded bump coming off the backstretch over there.
That's a manhole cover.
That's an unusual moment for him. I'm not sure if he's going to get penalized for not exiting the pit safely.
We'll know if he comes back to pit road. As Robert Friery on pit road. Anthony Calantoni comes in. Justin Mons. So right here at lap 57.
Yeah, Coleman continues on, so I think he's okay. But he clipped the blue line. And it bounced the car down and he went down through that whoop-de-doo on the back straightaway over there. That's an adventure in itself. It's like going to Dorney Park through there.
Nice.
Riding the coaster.
You just reminded me that the mods were at Riverhead this weekend.
That's a crazy place, Riverhead.
Yeah.
Now we have the traditional Charlotte Motor Speedway. I still want to call it Lowe's.
It's okay.
Conveyor belt. Everybody's spread out. Anthony Calantoni yawed sideways trying to get as much as he could out of that turn 2 apron. It is slickery down there.
It is very slick down there. As Kevin Brown comes to pit road now in the 93 car. This is lap 60. I think for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 laps, you're going to see pit stops here. People try to take advantage. And I think for these other cars, they can go another 10 to 15 laps if they really wanted to. Like Macklin here, like Jorgensen, like King.
Gonzalez.
Yeah, Gonzalez can go that far. I mean, Benfield, all these guys can go that little. Now, let's back that up with a little caveat here. If they were able to save their tires. Because remember, some of them did not take tires. And you're going to try to run 70 to 80 laps on a set of tires?
This is a type of racetrack, though, that once you settle in and you can just kind of find your... If you didn't abuse a right front and didn't pick up a push, you can pretty good lap time, even on worn tires.
Jose Gonzalez making the pass on Fuller for position. As Nelson Rivera on pit road, David Comstock, the Monster Energy number 13 is in.
And as many laps as Fuller has led, this is where it would show up that he punished the car just a little bit, and he's going to start to drop through as some of those drivers who kind of rode. Yep, Beasley to pit
This is
road.
your first, I believe, of the cars that pitted at the caution right here with Beasley. Here comes Kevin King, Justin Fuller, Karlovage, Benfield. So now you're starting to get some of these cars that pitted at the caution coming in.
You have to wonder if these drivers decided that they were giving up too much time.
They're going to give up a lot here. I mean, I'm looking, let's see lap times here. Brian Macklin last time by 31:02. Let's look down here at Tyler Dalton, 30:39, 30:61 from Donaldson, Donnie Lee at 30:74, 30:05 from Colby. You're gaining about a second and a half a lap.
Fuller and King done with their service. Both of them are just lockstep to each other as they come off Fuller sideways. Again, down there in turn 2, as King's going to get about 3 car lengths advantage to the back straightaway after that little slip by the Get a Unit Toyota of Fuller. And they're trying to blend in here now. Now we're going to have the situation.
Oh, Robert Fryery has gone around caution. Robert Fryery.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Turn 2 back straightaway, and here's that monkey wrench.
Yep, that changes everything.
And if you're Kevin King or Richard Beasley or those guys who just kind of jumped off the other strategy to pit then, oh, you're hurting yourself right now. Where everybody else, pretty much the only 2 cars that have stayed out that have not been to pit road yet are Van Schaik and Cody Giles. Everybody else has either been on pit road or pitted at the caution. The ones who pitted at the caution just hit the bank.
Yeah, Joey Gitina running in 4th right now as this caution comes through. Everybody gathering up here. Fryery able to grab a gear and drive away.
See what happens to the 77. Oh, there was trouble up ahead. Oh, it just drills to 60. And then David Comstock gets some damage. Somebody was slow up ahead.
Yeah, it looked like maybe contact from 2 cars coming after the pit. The 83 maybe had a piece of that. I was just trying to, somebody got loose. That
Look right up here.
apron down there is slippery.
Well, both of them merged too early, and then the 60 gets loose. 83 checks up.
Oh, they zigged and zagged, and the 13 of Comstock got a piece of it. That's funny. They both got loose coming off the apron, did they not?
I think so. I think they got on the track too early to start with, but and let's come back to this here in a second. They're on pit road here. The rest of the leaders are. And this is going to create a little bit of a jambalaya.
You'll have me singing a little bit of country music there as
Okay with
Jorgensen takes over the lead.
I'm okay with that. See, Wortman actually wins the race off pit road. Brian Macklin, Mark Jorgensen, Jose Gonzalez, Charles Van Schaik, Joey Gitina, Matt Rodolasso, Cody Giles.
That's just one of those things that I'm shocked to see. Like, that's about the 4th or 5th incident we've seen out of the apron from turn 2 on these green flag pit stops
We have
of
got
cars losing grip down there. And you were talking about it, the temperature plunges. That creates a lot of grip on the racetrack, but down there on the apron, it creates really. Look, both cars went up to the blue line, and then as they stomped on the throttle, they got loose, went up to the racetrack.
that looks
and it's
synchronized.
just a mess, yeah. And they're not the only ones that did that. And again, we saw the 38 Chad Coleman do that same thing, swing down on the apron and go through the whoop-de-doo. So the 60 of Karlovage able to get through that after that wild swing. Wonder how much damage he got from that contact.
Well, we're going to take a break here. We'll come back and we'll figure this out real quickly while we're in break and come back and get you more green flag racing here from Charlotte Motor Speedway under caution for the second time on the Captain Esports Network.
When do you plan on putting in that new fence we've been talking about since last summer?
I guess I could start tomorrow.
Protect the ones you love and protect your buried utilities by contacting 811 before you dig, either by phone, the web, or the NC811 app. Know what's below before you dig. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
Was it 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12?
Look at it's doing the math for us.
17 cars.
I told you we would do the math. Welcome back to Charlotte. That's how we do our math during commercial, by the way. Figure out what in the world's going on here.
Fingers and toes.
Yeah, oh yeah, more than that. 7 times 13 is 21. But so here we are in the caution for the second time. So Brian Macklin leads. Josh Parker was able to take the waiver, or the lucky dog there under that caution. So he is up here in the 12th position. Brian Wortman, as we just talked about, he has gone to pit road. He's come back out. Nice paint scheme, by the way, in that 811 car. Everybody else is going to take the wave around. So 14th, 15th, 16th. Or the easier way to count this is, Kevin said 17 cars are about to go back on the lead lap. And they're still going around the pace car here.
And unfortunately for Beasley, he is going to be the first car 1 lap down, trapped behind this and hoping for a quick caution so he can get a lucky dog here. Beasley, Stone, Strader, Mons, Leah, Karlovaj, who had a little something to do with that caution. All 1 lap down. 2 laps down is Joe Hudson, Robert Friery 3 laps down, and Joey Stone 5 laps down.
Now, let's see if this pack can get back up here, because here's the problem. Josh Parker, who's the lucky dog, has to wait for everybody to get back around him here, and here they come up to the pack. They're going into turn 3 right now. I'm keeping an eye on the pace car here to see if they put the lights back on it. Right now, it doesn't look like it, and they've got about 5 seconds if they're going to do it.
Let him eat.
I guess we're going eating, aren't we, Pac-Man?
Pace car going to make the hard left-hand turn. Going to turn it over to the 30th, Brian Macklin, who finds himself on the good side of happy after that unexpected caution. Green flag out. He stomps on the gas. He's got contest down on the bottom. Jorgensen pulls up to the number as they enter the corner. They're side by side now with Jorgensen. Good run down on the bottom. And Macklin is completely sideways out of turn number 2, able to gather it up, but several cars going to drive by.
Oh, Cody Giles in trouble. He is slow over here in turn 2 in the 5 car. And man, tell you what, if there was, I think I figured out the quote, by the way. If it wasn't for bad luck, there'd be none at all. That 5 car has just fallen off a map since the beginning of this season, unfortunately. Just tough break after tough break after tough break, and just continues to pile on. Look who's second.
Yeah.
Jose Gonzalez. Oh, man.
It's time for Jose to pick up a win here. And if this thing goes long green flag run, I would think that this is going to fall right into his hands. As I know Charles Van Schaik sitting there.
What was the
Great
paint
track for him.
What was the paint scheme that Jose ran a couple seasons ago that, like, I asked him about the sponsor and he had no clue who it was? I can't remember now. It was something like Candy-wise. But either way, I bet you if I asked him right now what a Frosty is, he might not have a clue.
I'm betting he does.
I mean,
I'm thinking, doesn't he not?
Was it Sweet Tarts maybe or something?
He's in the restaurant industry, is he not?
I think he is, but I mean, he's in Puerto Rico also at the same time, in fairness.
Yeah, he operates a restaurant. I don't remember which chain it is, but I think that is what he does for a living.
Now, if it is Wendy's, then good. Maybe we get free Frosties if you
Not
want
Wendy's. That's the funny thing about it is I always thought that was odd that he picked that scheme. But knowing Jose, this is just a shot in the dark. He probably wandered over to Trading Paint, said, "That's a cool looking paint scheme."
Hey, look at this
And
811
that's
car.
not
and
all the thought he put into it.
Right? Look at the 811 car on the inside here. Randy Yoakum up in the top 10, battling with Ron Delasso, and then Alan Wild, who was Spinaroonie over in turn 3 for the first caution earlier. He's in the top 10 now, as whoever that was scraping up the wall. I think that was Sigmund. It was not Sigmund. Sigmund's back there. It was Scott Simley. It was not Scott Simley. It's that 17 car, Kevin Stone. One of them daggum cars.
Well, there's a lot of tight action through that middle of the pack from about 15th back. I see Patrick Colby in the number 28. He's got the 22 of Nelson Rivera to the outside, and they are tight packed in there. You talk about, we say it, if you run up front and you get a little space, there are times when you do just fine. But there's other times when you flat wear yourself out. You're racing back there for 20th.
Right. Now, one guy out here, I want to bring this up again, that is racing tonight, 28th position, Brian Wortman. I mentioned his name a minute ago. There in that 811 Patriotic car tonight, as each and every season, Sim500 tries to bring in some money for a driver or a family or whatever. And if it's not Bryce Whitson, of course, from before, or Stoney Benfield's family, of course, with their grandson, Judah. Well, this season, they have decided to help out Brian Wortman. Brian's been unfortunately under the weather a lot lately. He's been suffering from some health issues and stuff. And if you would like to help out with Brian to get him back on his feet and so on and so forth, as he's always out here working hard and just having fun, doing what he loves to do. And that's out here sim racing. If you want to help him out, you can reach out to Joey Jatina or the Sim500 Facebook page or whatnot. If you need even help, you can reach out to me and I can get you to Joey himself and so on and so forth. But tonight, raising money to help out Brian Wortman, getting him back on his feet so he can get back to what he enjoys doing outside of sim racing, of course, and that's anything racing, literally.
Yeah, he's one of the nicest guys in the
Absolutely.
garage. You can say that. We chat with Brian. He's in the chat with us all the time, and talk about knowledgeable for NASCAR. He's physically in the industry. Moved down from, I think, Pennsylvania is where he
I
hails
believe
from.
so. Yep.
And came down to NASCAR, was working as crew chief and pit guy and all-around coach for different teams. And he's been through the industry quite a bit, and still his just number one passion, I think. You see him posting quite frequently about what's going on in the NASCAR scene, and just one of the most likable people. He's kind of quiet and reserved, keeps to himself, but if you start talking to him about NASCAR,
He opens up.
and you just really get to find out how knowledgeable and smart he is. And unfortunately, he suffered a couple strokes and a couple other things that have set him back medically. But from the standpoint of racing, he's here, he's dedicated, he's in, and just trying to do the best he can with what he has going on. Some nights he races with a slamming headache, but yet will go out and run all the laps and be content with a 20th because he got the job done and he's where he wants to be. And I can't think of a better person to support for just being here.
Yeah.
He's one of us.
Yeah, no, I agree. And he's one of the longest drivers I've known on iRacing. I've known him for over 10 years. And I always joked and said, like, and I guess I've got a pretty good knowledge of racing and NASCAR racing and stuff, but if there's anybody who knows more than I do, it's that guy. It's Brian Wortman. If there's any kind of question I have to turn to or whatever, I go to Wortman. Like, hey, help me real quick with this or whatever. Yeah, very knowledgeable, always on top of things when it comes to information. I know his Facebook page, he always puts out, like, he's already got the entry list for the Charlotte race and all the information about the low-budget teams. He's gotten to work with them. He went to school at UTI, which is the Universal Technical Institute there in Charlotte, the Concord area. And, got to work with teams from the team back in the day known as TriStar. He's worked with Jeff Green. He's Mike Harmon, Morgan Shepherd, he's got a great relationship with. That's just to name a few people. So, 3 wide back here, by the way, Eric Arnold, Benfield, and Friary. But yeah, make sure if you get a chance, show your support, reach out to Joey Jatina or whatever, the Facebook page of Sim500, and help donate some money to help out Brian Wortman get back on his feet there. So, Jatina losing 5th position to Macklin as he goes by.
Yeah, up front, I think this is where when we get into these runs that the cars will start to come to some of these drivers, whether they pace themselves or planned it out well. And give a call to Mark Schrader back there running the Red Bull Toyota 36 right now. He's in that hornet's nest alongside Mike Kelly. Good to see different drivers coming in.
Yeah.
Not sure how many starts he's made this season, but always cool to see new names, or names that return periodically.
Schrader, one of many cars one lap down, along with Beasley. Kevin Stone is on that list. Jason Karlovage, Donnie Leah, who's back there in 33rd. Justin Mons. All those guys one lap down, trying to get the lucky dog position now. As Jorgensen leads by 2/10 over Jose Gonzalez. You see Joey Stone is back on track. He has had all types of issues tonight. And right now sitting 7 laps down in that 7 car.
How about the boss man running in the top 10 here in the Chesterton Ford? Having a good run, got the right strategy, and you know, one of the things that Joey talks about sometimes is just if he could have some track position, always finds himself in the middle of the mess, and when he's up front, he's as fast as anybody else. He's tracking multi-time winner, the 30 of Brian Macklin, and just keeping pace with him as they go down the back straightaway.
86 laps complete. We are just past the halfway point in this Never Quit 240. Hashtag Never Quit 240. You see the sun just about set over there in the turn 4 area. Lights on. Let's check. What was the track temp earlier? I believe it was 86 degrees. It's actually gone up, believe it or not. So, shows you what I know.
Mark Jorgensen Jr. finds himself on the right side of the strategy, and he's holding off Jose Gonzalez. But Jorgensen has shown flashes of brilliance all season long, and I suspect sooner or later he's going to start putting together a couple of runs. Kevin King has kind of taken the wins out of the sails for several of these drivers by dominating a lot of these races, but tonight different players up in the front because of the strategy, and Jorgensen's been fast as King at different times, and with the track position right now, if this thing stays the way it is, I don't know. Looks like a good place for him to be.
Well, nothing better than getting a biggie bag with a Mountain Dew. Here comes Jose Gonzalez to the inside for the lead. And he is going to clear the 88, so move the 26 to the top here at lap 89. Here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway is Jorgensen, as you mentioned there in a second. I was about to comment that you wonder if he might be that next first-time winner in this series. I mean, there's so many names you could throw out there for next first-time winners. Of course, that 88, I think, might be one on the top of the list.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see him pull one down in the win column here this season, and not too long from now as new leader, 9th or 13th different leader here tonight. Lap 90, it is Jose Gonzalez putting the Wendy's bag out front, and this is going to be an interesting mix. If Jose can run away and hide, I think he's going to have a good run tonight.
So let's kind of put ourselves in position here. We got 70 laps to go this time by. The fuel window actually is going to open up in about 4 laps, as we are going to be in the window to make it the rest of the way on fuel. However, you still got about 30 laps before you really do need to come to pit road, as Mike Montesi brings it down pit road and taking it behind the wall. Unfortunately there for the 4 car. But most of these guys obviously pitted at that lap 65 caution. You got some cars that have taken waiver rounds and pitted around lap 53 to 56, 57. So I think somewhere between lap 110 and 125, you're probably going to see the next round of pit stops here, and that'll probably be the last pit stops to go to the finish of this race, unless we get a you-know-what. How about Dougie Sigmund?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Don't say it.
Okay, well, let's just talk about Doug Sigmund here, running in the 16th position. Doing a great job here as he's playing the strategy. Of course, Doug pitted at that caution, if you need any help with the word. Wesley Donaldson there passing him a few minutes ago, and now Tyler Dalton looking to get around him. Mike Kelly there. And the reason why you're not seeing these cars able to get up here that were in the front earlier is their tires are older. Remember, all these guys had that caution. They got 10-lap newer tires than those who came to pit road and took the wave around here. So they're kind of hoping for that, insert word here, to fly so that they can get tires. And we got a new guy up here in the front. Look who's in third and diving to the inside of Mark Jorgensen. Charles Van Schaik. And the Adam Petty throwback goes to second.
You know, we didn't talk about this dynamic, Chris, but sometimes drivers just take a shine to a racetrack.
Yeah.
It suits their style. It suits their turning. It suits the way they brake. It suits the way they pick up the throttle, and they just find a little something extra in the tank. And Charles Van Schaik, this is the type of racetrack that if you're smooth and you're fast and you take care of your tires, you can take advantage of long green flag runs. And hey, this car looks really sporty here sitting there in second.
It's funny you say that because I think this is that track for me. It's Charlotte myself. And it's kind of why I signed up for that race on Sunday. And if it, obviously I had the issues at the beginning of it. But, so I never really got a chance to really shine at all. But needless to say, it's like anytime I find Charlotte on the schedule, I just get that smile on my face. I haven't really said anything about it this week. I'm actually going to do the Indy Charlotte double on Sunday. Because there's the special event Sunday morning in Indy, and then the NIS race that night.
Don't forget Monaco.
There's no Monaco and iRacing.
I know, but
I'll go run Long Beach or something. How's that?
get up and
I'll be running Indy when Monaco's on.
I'll be sitting in a hotel about a mile and a half from the racetrack, waiting for Sunday activities after watching everything on Saturday. Never been to Charlotte. Really excited to go there.
I told you I got some places to get.
Okay, shoot. I'm in.
You got of course, you're going to get some. You got the Smoke Pit Barbecue place there in Concord. Actually, more Kannapolis than Concord. Awesome barbecue place. Let's see. How long are you going to be there?
Rolling in on Thursday and rolling out on Thursday. We're staying a couple days after. We have,
Nice.
some friends that live in the Charlotte area, so we're gonna.
Smoke Pit's almost an automatic. You will likely find a race team in that barbecue place every time you go in there. It's one that Tony Rizzuti, who worked for MRN Radio when I got to meet him back in the day, he's like, dude, go try this place out.
Macklin creeping back into the picture here.
Yeah, Macklin's coming in play. I saw Van Schaik make a couple moves there for the lead. Wasn't able to complete the pass yet.
Macklin's a rim rider up here in turns 1 and 2, 3 and 4, just running the high side. That is good for longevity of tire wear. Burns a little more fuel up there, so they say. If you're turning, you're not using the right side tires so much, just trying to turn the car down the banking.
Jump back here to
Really
12.
get a fun backstretch.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, especially off turn 1 and 2. I agree 100%. Jump back to 12th here. Wesley Donaldson, Josh Parker, Eric Arnold. A few of these guys back here. Justin Mons, as these guys fight it out. These are all guys that fell victim to the caution.
Yeah, frustrated Beasley, who's in that shot, is not on the lead lap because, like we said earlier, he's got a fast car tonight. He's got to be like throwing roll bar padding or something else out the window, hoping to get that caution.
I mean, all you gotta do is pour a tide out.
Slip slide. Yeah, some of these guys are really, we've not talked about this at all this season. We heard Mr. Fuller last week. He didn't have a lot of complimentary things to say about this race car, but I don't know. I actually like this race car, and I like the way it drives, and I like specifically the tire wear and the aero model I think the side draft is fun and
Oh!
playful. You see these guys beating and banging off each other for that purpose. The car could take a beating, and the draft that you get gives you those runs where you see Eric Arnold driving through. I mean, I for everything he didn't have complimentary to say, I could counter that and say I really enjoy racing this car.
Justin Mons is needing a tin can hat right now or something. He's blinking
Yeah.
like crazy. Chad Coleman's on pit road right now.
The neon sign.
Yeah, Beasley's like abandoned ship with the 41 right now.
Yeah, that 41 is not in a good way.
Coleman on pit road here. Charles Van Schaik to pit road. And that's a tough spot for
Picking off quickly. Holy cow, look at that. We're past 100.
Patrick Colby on pit road. So here we go with those pit stops, as I mentioned. Actually, a little bit earlier, and I thought you'd see him on pit road. And you see Beasley kind of dived out when he saw Mons kind of having a blinking spells there. And that's because of if he's trying to be the lucky dog. And if he gets caught up with somebody's wreck because you don't know where a car is, he loses the lucky dog.
81 to pit road.
Yeah, Josh Parker, Kevin Brown in. 4 tires and fuel here.
The question lies here is what happens if there's a caution? We're going to see the same dynamic we saw a little bit earlier, but some of these drivers just decided it's time. It's time to do this.
Oh, you the one said the word that time.
I did. Yeah, I know. So,
You told me not to say it, and you go and say it.
but just the dynamic of the race. This is what the drivers are betting against, right? They want to run. They want to get their track position. They're waiting for the leaders to pit as Parker really loose on the apron over there.
This question, where's your seats at again for Charlotte Sunday?
Somewhere on the front stretch.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Up high. Good seats.
You're going to have the whole Sim500 league waiting on you at your seat.
Yeah.
One 107 laps, 53 laps to go. How far?
This changes that dynamic for Beasley, right? Because he's not going to be the first car lap down with the pit cycles.
Yeah, because Van Schaik's in front of him now with fresher tires. Mons is there. I think you still got to wait, though, as Mike Kelly comes to pit road in a 2 car. I think you still have to wait to come to pit road. You can't really change up your strategy because of somebody else. You almost got to run your own race here and just hope this plays out.
I mean, the driver who's just not going to be able to dig his way out of this is Chad Coleman. He's back there running 33rd, 1 lap down.
Well, Chad came to pit road a minute ago.
Yeah, but I mean,
Wesley on pit road.
he's behind Josh Parker. Well, we'll see. Again, we'll just see. But I'm saying if a caution comes, that's the risk that we talk about. You know, Josh Parker, Chad Coleman, and these guys that far back. Now, presumably they might be able to do a wave around, as Coleman's the second car that's been to pit road, or third car.
Macklin putting that pressure on Jose Gonzalez as Donaldson leads 14.5.
Makes me nervous with these cars with tires rolling around these cars trying to get to pit road.
Just got to communicate. That's the main thing. Tell them, hey, I'm pitting this time. And don't tell them in turn 3 and 4. Tell them like in 1 and 2 or on the backstretch. As here comes Yoakum to pit road, having his best run of the season so far. Tyler Dalton coming to pit road along with Callan Tony.
Gerald Livingston's in that lead lap here, running 21st in the 96. I just love the way the cars look in the dark coming down pit road. It's so cool looking.
As the Talking Giants 84, 4 tires and fuel.
They better
Macklin.
take 2 tires here.
Nah, it's too long in the race still. 48 left. Nah. Now, I'll say this. If a caution comes out in about 20 laps, yeah. Nah, I think it comes into play, but not right now.
Livingston to pit road. 42 of Scott Stenzel to pit road.
Jose
And
Gonzalez is coming in.
Here.
Yep.
So 111 for Jose Gonzalez gives up the lead. Jorgensen going to pick up the pace.
Oh, Gerald Livingston puts himself in the wall off pit road. Yeesh. He got too good of a launch out of his pit stall and went beeline to the wall. Jose Gonzalez with 4 tires and 20 gallons of chili in that car.
Now the question is, when will the 88 come to pit road? He and Joey Jettina, 49 laps since the last time that they've been to pit road. Jorgensen leading. Jettina is in second. 53 laps since Kevin King has been in for service. He's running third.
I was a little worried. I saw.
Head.
Sorry, I was a little worried that I saw Gerald Livingston playing Plinko on the backstretch. He's going to be okay as King comes to pit road. Joey Jettina, Adam Benfield, all these guys are in.
Yeah, almost to the point of cycling everyone through here.
If I see this right, the leader of the race is likely
12?
the 23, actually. Charles Van Schaik would be the leader. And he is, like, out there by a lot. Like, look on the map over here. The 23 is over here on the backstretch by himself.
I think somewhere along the line, Scott Simley picked up.
He's on pit road now.
But it turned it over.
Fuller
Justin
leading.
Ford now up front.
Yeah, Fuller pitted at 61, so he still got a pit. Arnold still got a pit from 55. Alan Wild, Wetzel. Yeah, I mean, first car to not come, it would be Charles Van Schaik. Brian Macklin would be second. And Macklin's over here in turn 1. Van Schaik's going down the backstretch. We might have ourselves a new winner here tonight, and it might be that 23 car. If things cycle around, Fuller on pit road here. But one thing...
it is scary to watch these cars with tires slicing through those who do not.
Something I have to bring it up, I guess, because it's just part of our job as broadcasters, is what has been a notorious thing that has happened here these last few weeks in this league. I know they've made changes, and so Fuller went above that blue line. Let's hope that didn't get him. But late race cautions. So let's hope, for the sake of a fantastic race here this evening so far, that this just keeps going. Eric Arnold leads. Alan Wild second. Bobby Wetzel, David Comstock, Doug Sigmund. Ron Alasso, Brian Wortman. Those 7 have not come to pit road yet. You got Carl Lavage and Donnie Leah also have not come to pit road.
Have we said Wetzel's name tonight?
We have not.
So.
That was the first time I said it.
You could see the difference in speed disparity for these cars that did not pit. So they're losing track position right now, but should a caution come out, it will really, again, flip this race.
Arnold pitted at 55. He is working on lap 65 of this run, so he's got to be on pit road in the next lap or 2.
Yeah, and just keeping track of things, the 30 of Brian Macklin has gotten around the 26 of Jose Gonzalez, and he's out about a half a straightaway ahead of him. So if this continues to cycle through, it'll be Brian Macklin looking like he has the chance to inherit the lead.
As Ron Alasso comes to pit road.
And Shike pitted 23 laps ago. Can he make it?
After 103, yeah, he's good. 57 laps. It's just a question, will the tires hold up? Right now, it's, according to my math here, he's got 6.5 seconds back to Brian Macklin.
Yeah. I'll tell you that if he could just pace himself, he may actually have hit this strategy spot on. He's coming out to the back straightaway as in the middle, turn 1 and 2 is Brian Macklin. The question is, will Macklin be able to run him down with the number of laps they have available? Richard Beasley on pit road. He's going to be super disappointed in this run. I could argue one of the fastest cars tonight was Richard Beasley, the way he was running. But unfortunately, that caution just threw everything for naught. I mean, he drove from, where did he start? Like 18th or so in the field, and he was up to 3rd in the first run of the race. I mean, he was right about to battle Kevin King, which was like the battle we had all been waiting for all season. Yes. And speaking of Mr. King, he is currently in the 10th position. And he's not that far back from the number 30 car, so.
As Eric Arnold goes to pit road, Alan Wild now leads. Bobby Wetzel second. There's Alan way up here in turn 4. He pitted at lap 65, so he's got still about 7 laps before he needs to come to pit road. Bobby Wetzel here in second. He should be on pit road in the next 2 or 3 laps. We have not seen anybody grenade a tire yet, which is good.
Alan Wild out front. I think these are some of the first laps he's led this season. Is that?
I mean, look out. I mean, he has got to literally almost park the car. As Sigmund's coming, or not Sigmund, sorry. Wetzel coming to pit road now. Sigmund's on pit road. I mean, Allen's out here running 31.58. Everybody else is 29s and 30s. I mean, he's literally running this thing out. Wetzel, 2-tire stop. 11-second stop right there.
Yeah, we had talked about that as an option if it was late in the run. I think that's a good move for him.
I'm okay with that, yeah, because you go longer, wear out those tires a little bit, then you put the right sides on, you can actually be faster. I've seen that before. Back here, battle for... Go ahead.
I was just playing out Van Schaik out front after Wild pits. And then you're going to have Macklin, Gonzalez, King, Parker, Jorgensen, Donaldson, Jatina.
Comstock,
looking to be your top 10 after this all cycles through.
Comstock comes to pit road now. I'm looking at lap times here. Macklin is constantly about 2 to 3 tenths faster than Van Schaik. Or, I don't know. I heard rumors that there's actually, we've been saying his name wrong for like a year and a half. So it might be something else. Van something or other, as I called him on Sunday.
Van Schaik is not correct?
I'm hearing talks that it might not be, because when like I looked at the, as a matter of fact, I go looking at Discord real quick on Sunday, he put out a pronunciation thing, and he spelled it like Andy Van Schaik, almost, instead of Van Schaik.
Okay.
So I'm like, hell, I don't know how to say it. Van something and other. How's that?
I wish somebody would tap this on the shoulder about that. We'll get that straight.
I'm looking again just to make sure.
After all these years.
Yes, I commented. Wait, so I've said it wrong for 2 years? Pronounced Van Schaik.
Okay.
So Charles, may we just call him Charles?
BC, BS.
Anyways, Charles
Pittsburgh.
looking pretty good right now.
He's got a 2-second lead, and it is closing down for
Yes, it
Macklin.
is.
The question is, can he keep that gap for another 20 laps or so?
So you've
Macklin is physically closing in on him.
Macklin's got it down to 2 seconds. Macklin catching Van Scoik by a half-second last time by. Then you got Gonzalez, who is a tenth faster than Macklin. Kevin King is about as fast as Gonzalez is. So this race is far from over right now.
Yeah, dare I say, a caution would throw everything to the wind here.
Once again, he's sitting in the front stretch somewhere, up top.
Alan Wild carves off. He's going to finally take the 15-2 pit road and give up the lead here. Lap 132.
Great effort there, trying to get that to roll his way. Unfortunately, it didn't. But now it's a battle of who can get this car to the finish line.
If I'm Charles, I like the fact that I have faster cars in front of me giving me a bit of a tow. It's a 77 of Friary goes to pit road.
So Macklin is 1.3 seconds back. And then you've got caution.
Oh, there's the yellow.
Good job.
Aha.
Jason Karlovac is spun over in turn 3. And again, Kevin England will be at the Coke 600 on Charlotte, in Charlotte, for those who want to swing over and see him.
Yeah, I did. You know, it just felt like it was going to happen. I hate to see that. On the exit of pit road.
Then again, there might be a lot of people buying you dinner this week.
Yeah.
Let's see what happened to Karlovac. Oh, man.
Just lost it coming off. He hit
Uh-oh. Do we have the... It always
Yes.
happens.
hit the pothole.
The man cover has
Pothole.
cleaned.
Pothole.
It always happens right here. Wham! Spin out. Never fails.
As
Once
soon as he backed
a race.
failed the line. I think you're going to have to come to pit road.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think everybody's going to be on pit road here. 2 tires? Yes.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yes. Who is the question?
Charles got a good angle in there. He's going to carry quite a bit of an advantage, which should help him hopefully keep that. As long as his pit service is correct. Let's see if he gets in the box well. Drops right in, yep.
Eric Arnold stays out.
Right side tires going on the Goat Racing Ford. Will they come around and do 4? Yep. It's 4 in fuel for the 23. Down and away. Jorgensen's going to beat him off. King's going to beat him off. He'll come out 4th.
I see Benfield 2 tires, King with 2 tires, Jorgensen 2 tires, Van Schaik with 4, Macklin 4, Donaldson 2, Jatina 2, Fuller 2, Dalton 2, Santa Claus 2. That one never works. Gonzalez 4. You see the numbers on the left there. Basically, anybody less than 14 seconds are 2 tire stops. Interesting.
Well,
Well then, this changes everything.
Changes everything. Yep, sure does.
Let's step away and get you ready for this restart here. We have less than 25 laps to go here at Charlotte, and he never quit 240. We're far from quitting here tonight on the Captain Esports Network.
What a nice day to install my new mailbox.
Hi there, friend. I'm Dig Safely Man. My job is to ensure you call 811 before you dig.
Why do I need to do that?
Vital utilities like natural gas and electric run just beneath the Earth's surface. Damaging them can cause service interruption, environmental hazards, or personal injury.
I thought only contractors had to call before they dig, so homeowners do too.
Call 3 business days before you dig unless you have x-ray vision. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
Eric Arnold stayed out.
Eric Arnold stayed out as we're back at the Charlotte Motor Speedway under caution. You heard Kevin say it there. Eric Arnold has stayed out, but let's bring out this week in Sim 500 for you. To show you what is on the radar this week. Of course, we are off in the Xfinity Series until next Sunday, following Sunday, June 2nd, Michigan Speedway. Charlotte tonight, Talladega tomorrow night in the trucks in the WBD Diecast Super Speedway Series. All-Star 15 TV will have the Trans-Surface Truck Series here from Charlotte. And then the rest of the series off as we go into Memorial Day weekend. And I should note, too, that you will not see really any streaming at all Thursday and Friday from the captain, as I got my own thing going on for a few days. I'll be back on probably Sunday for the double after Wednesday. So just FYI. All right, Cotton, what are we thinking here? Got Arnold, who stays out, pitted at lap 123. So he's got 12 lap older tires. Then Adam Benfield, who took 2. Kevin King, who took 2. Mark Jorgensen, Charles Van Schaik's the first on 4. Now, the one thing I have to bring up again, I said it a few minutes ago. We have seen a trend in this series of late cautions. So let's hope that tonight this trend breaks and we go green the rest of the way. Now, there have been some new rules put into play by the series to kind of try to stop with the late race carnage, if you will, at times. So we'll see how it all transpires tonight. But needless to say, 23 laps to go. Things are going to get real here in a minute. Well, it's just not the coolest Sim500 Facebook name of all time. Brian Van Squeak saying, let's go, bro. I'm guessing this is Charles's brother in some way. All right, so what is going to happen? The little brother. Okay, very good. Through 3 and 4, Eric Arnold leads him to the green, and Macklin gets turned into the wall. Potential wheel spin as the 9 goes around in others. And caution comes out immediately.
Yeah, I was talking to myself, unfortunately, and
not my fault this time.
That was me.
I'm
thinking to myself that 31 would spin the tires, right? And unfortunately, I called it, and nobody knew.
For those curious,
Talking to you is like talking to myself.
I muted myself and told him, I'm like, hey, if you're muted, by the way, I can't hear you.
I was going to say, as they came down the backstretch, Mr. King probably wasn't very happy to be starting behind the 15-lap-old tires, and everybody wants to hammer down for this start. And I suspect we'll see a little extracurricular activity, and lo and behold, the 30 was backwards at one point.
And you know what? This all happened. This is interesting. This all happened at the start-finish line. And I go back to that jinx that happens, or not jinx, but the glitch, if you will. Here, let's watch all this happen again here. So, depending on who has crossed the start-finish line here, we might have ourselves an issue where pretty much everybody who did not cross the start-finish line has to start behind the pace car. So let's see if this happens. Do we get Macklin? I'm not sure if I have to look. Wetzel locks it down. Net codes into the 8, lifts the 28 off the ground.
Yeah, 28 was doing a Joey Chipwood over there.
Doug.
He was up
Doug.
the wheels. Doug. Nope. Oh,
30 right here.
well, I'll tell you, that is just heck of a man.
So he gets up to the back of Jorgensen, goes to go, and they just don't go. And Macklin's trying to launch, and unfortunately, Jatina gets in the back of him. All right, so let's go look at the front here. So everybody looks like is okay. We do have cars on pit road getting damage fixed. Eric Arnold. So, yeah, so I don't see anybody like trapped, it appears. So it looks like everybody's okay. What we'd had to worry about is if like Arnold or Benefield would be at the back of the field and the rest of the field's in front. Then you'd have this huge issue, but looks like everybody's okay. So
The question is, did someone go before the leader that started that?
Shall look at this. Good call. Let's take a look. Go up here to the front. You go in the restart zone, which is where it says Geico there. See Kev
It
kind of.
almost feels like Jorgensen gave a little punt. Who's behind him?
That's where that would be the 30.
Yeah, okay.
Now, did Arnold looks like he was clean on the restart, but he did kind of hold up the go because he saw the 29. Look how far back he is. Look at the 23 kind of back. That's exactly what happened. The 31 waited to go because he saw the 29 was far back, I think.
Yeah,
It's a
the
smart
30
move.
popped the 88 and then hit him again, and when he got him the second time, it checked everybody up on that outside line.
Of course, $1 million question.
It almost looked like he was holding his pace there on that start.
Well, question here, did Arnold hold his pace? Let's see. Yeah,
Well,
he's
if
good.
Arnold's the leader, he could do whatever he needs to do. I think he was fine. He just waited till as deep as he could.
Yeah, that's the trick here, and it's kind of it's not like mean or anything or dirty, but when you see the car with a little distance behind you, knowing that he's probably going to get a run on you to turn one, what's the best way to counter it? You hold up on the restart. You don't launch. Make iRacing throw the green, and that's exactly what happened.
There were a lot of other drivers anticipating the start there. Saw the Wesley Donaldson, the WBD diecast Camaro, take a wrap from Fuller in the back.
Yeah.
And just had picked up the throttle well enough that he was able to drive off straight. But yeah, there was quite a bit of contact there as drivers trying to anticipate the start. And, certainly one of the tactics is if they leave early in the box, then you want to be really careful that you don't get caught behind.
Right.
And so you're you're revving the car, dropping the clutch, trying to get the RPM up, so when you slam it down, you're going to launch and time it wrong, and you're going to get that accordion mess.
So once again, real quickly, tonight we're raising money to help out Brian Wortman as part of this Never Quit 240. It's a tradition of Sim500 to raise money for somebody who's been a part of the league, if it's a family member or something like that. Of course, we think about our friend Judah, who, of course, the grandson of Stoney Benfield, who continues to battle there on his side with cancer. Of course, Bryce Whitson, who he lost. And then Brian Wortman has a separate issue from cancer, but has had some of his own health battles and stuff. And he, of course, is in this race tonight and was picked to be the one we raise money for. So if you're interested in donating some money, make sure you do reach out to Joey Jatina or somebody on Facebook there to get you in contact with Joey, or you can reach out to me on Discord or wherever, and we will get you in contact with Joey, respectively. So here we go. Let's try it again. 18 laps to go as Eric Arnold leads Adam Benfield. You see King kind of laying back a little bit again.
You could just hear the engines rev as everybody's trying to anticipate a good
Arnold.
start. Once again, this time we get away cleanly.
Benfield spun the tires a little bit. Arnold launched pretty good, though. Arnold going full Monty Python in the Holy Grail. Run away.
This is going to be
Benfield
rather
loose. Oh, into the wall goes Radalasso.
Kevin Brown 3 wide going into turn 3, back there for about the 15th position is the 28 up into the wall.
I think Calantoni got the wall also.
Good start for Eric Arnold. I'll tell you what, he took off and had some speed. Sometimes when you cycle the car under caution, you will find some grip as the tires.
Oh, Parker's in the wall hard. Mons gets collected. No caution. Everybody's straight still. And now Mons goes spinning. And there's your caution.
I was going to say.
Oh, and Wortman just got clobbered by Rodolasso.
Killed the 74.
Why are we
I don't know. Mons was maybe a separate incident. The 22 got tagged. Mons just checked up and lost control. Donnie Leah sideways. There was all kinds of things going on the back straightaway over there.
What I saw was Josh Parker just literally lost the car and went right into the wall. I mean, it looked like Stenhouse last night.
There were like
Bam!
6 over there.
Yeah, everybody checks out. There's Mons getting turned in the wall by somebody. He's trying to hold on to her. And there's Leah, as you talked about.
47, or the 41, 22, the 20.
And in some...
The 74. Yeah. Yeah, there was a little bit of everything over there. It's like a clearinghouse of incidents all the way from middle of turn 2 to turn 3.
I mean, Rodolasso hit Wortman so hard, I think Wortman got stuck in the wall. No, he got out. Never mind, we're good.
Tore the back of his car off, though. You can see the gas tank.
Got in the back of Mons.
The 22 got tagged by the 91 that slipped up, or the 5, I mean.
Oh, yeah,
he went to the wall.
Yep.
The 81's in the wall already. 41 comes across. The 20 comes sliding across the nose here. He had contact. And then here's the 74 Rodolasso incident. Punched him in the back of the car. That's what I said. There was a cacophony.
Oh, what?
Is that the word they used yesterday? Cacophony of incidents.
That's a new one.
Well, we talked about cautions, breed cautions. We were 4 cautions in. Now we're 6 cautions, and I think there's probably 2 more to go. Richard Beasley back on the lead lap. He is running 27th, but has made it back to there.
I mean, if you're... I mean, I'm not one that criticizes people again. I mean, everybody's doing their own thing out here, but I would think if you're in the middle of the track, you're slowing down, right?
Usually.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Just checking. All right, so 14 laps to go now.
I look at woulda, coulda, shoulda. A couple of these drivers who had this played out differently, I think it would have played in well. As Macklin, he looked like he was in the catbird seat at one point. Jose Gonzalez had things lining up for the long run, and while they're still in the mix here, I don't know that their race went the way they wanted to. Macklin, of course, 7 laps down, pulled out after that incident. It's wreckers or checkers sometimes for Brian, is it not?
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, he did get that Bristol win earlier this season, but and he looked good maybe tonight, but unfortunately just didn't work out. I mean, is it Eric Arnold's time tonight?
I'll tell you, he really looked good on that restart. Now he's got to try something a little bit different, as he's got the best in the business right there on the back bumper.
You got Benefield, of course, right there. And third, who's a teammate to the 29. You got Wesley Donaldson there in the 91. Jorgensen, Fuller, Van Schaik, Jose Gonzalez.
This is a type of race for Justin Fuller. These short little sprints, like elbows up. He's the type of guy. You know, Donnie Leah brings another person to name. They're the type of drivers that you do not want in that top 5. They could pull away a win here.
Pace car lights are back off. It'll be a 12-lap shootout Appreciate everybody watching here this evening. By the way, I have not given him a shout out tonight, and I surely meant to. And but my good friend Jim Herrick, of course, 40 Racewear. If you want some good shoes, some gloves, especially now as we go into Indianapolis week for the 500 and stuff. I know Jim's a big IndyCar guy, but if you're looking for shoes or gloves on your sim racing, make sure you go check out 40racewear.com. And a big shout out to those guys for what they do and trying to help out sim racers. If you're one that likes to race in socks, or heaven forbid, bare feet, or you want gloves, I would suggest you check out that website. Or you can put on sticky socks like Kevin talked about last time. Groove socks or whatever you call them.
Nothing like a pair of comfortable shoes, though, that you could feel the actual... When I was just dialing in my brake pedal recently, realizing that it could make it a little bit softer. What a difference it makes. And having the right shoes to be able to feel the pedal and make the touch makes such a difference when you're trying to drive down into the corner.
He's got some pretty cool shoes there. You can check out again at 40racewear.com. Links down in the race description, by the way. All right, coming back to the green, 12 laps to go. Eric Arnold, inside lane, leader. Kevin King, outside lane.
All right, let's see how this goes. Oh,
Kevin got a good restart. Almost too good of a restart for Kevin.
Going to power through on the bottom there.
Big time move by Eric to take the lead. And Joe Hudson's back there having trouble on his own on the back straightaway. I just noticed he's almost spun into the inside wall. Matter of fact, he has spun into the inside wall. But he was out there by himself, so no caution. Now caution is out. Oh, turn 4, Scott Simley, Richard Beasley.
Oh my.
Oh boy. The fever is broke. And sorry if I was the one that jinxed the whole explaining the situation, but it seems to be hitting us again here, this little yellow fever.
Comstock and the 12 got together and they just could not get off of each other. Beasley was just taking this direction.
Here's Hudson having his issues over here in turn 2.
I wonder if he missed a gear.
That looked like a money shift right there.
Yeah. That's a weird one.
Oh, netcode. Oh, no, who is that blinking?
Oh, yeah, somebody. Maybe that's the 41.
Yeah, I think it is. And he clobbered the 13. I mean, that right there. I mean, that is a car not knowing where it's at on the track. I mean... Look, you see, follow the sparks. You see it.
But he's like down by the apron. It's really
but
weird.
look at the sparks up here at the top lane. I mean, that's just the computer. I mean, that's just unfortunate for Comstock and them.
Nothing Comstock could do in that situation, is there?
And Beasley, unfortunately, losing right back in front of Simley. I mean, it's tough. I mean, that's the hardest part about netcode right there. Or not even netcode, but losing any kind of what's the word I'm looking for here? When you lose like your service or whatever. I mean, like I can't even get on the 41 without an issue here because of the just the way he's blinking. So I have to like pick another car to go on board with here. So it's already happening here. Okay, let's back it up a little more. But basically what's going on is, yeah, we're seeing the 41 flash on the screen in the bottom lane. The problem is where's iRacing coding and the computer and everything picking it up? Look where the sparks are. They're at the bottom. There's Mons at the bottom. And all of a sudden you're going to see sparks moving up and back down. And then all of a sudden there goes Comstock around.
Yeah, for Justin Mons, even though he's having connections this year, he really didn't do anything wrong. He was down on the blue line. Certainly not being a risk to anyone else, but yet.
Well, I'm gonna. Well, let me look at this whole restart with him before I. I mean, he had the blinking issues earlier, and it looked like he got them fixed. Right now, he's okay. He just starts. Okay. See, if that was one of those things where he, right? If that's going on like all the way that entire lap, then I would say, okay, he should have probably bailed out of there and went to the back. But it literally all happened within like 3 seconds there. So that's a bummer.
Well, let's reset it. How about Eric Arnold continuing to hold off this field, doing an outstanding job. He's got 29 laps on his tires with 17 for the rest of the field, all the way back to the 16th position. Not sure that anybody would duck in at this point to go get tires. Even if they had a set, they'd leave it on the wall.
Now your bed's made now.
A couple drivers have gone in, but
yeah, your bed's made now. What you got's what you got. Now the good news for Arnold is he's got a lot of these drivers have had multiple cycles on their tires here. So I'm not sure how much that's going to help. Of course, all the tires are cooling back down, and the best thing you can have with older tires is cooler tires, because you can get the grip for at least a lap or two. And then these newer tires, you got to get up the temp. That's why you see Kevin swerving. Because the one thing, and I'll give you this little lesson right now, Kev, as you go into this race this weekend, the first lap on new tires is tight. So don't try to push it.
I was wondering whether that really made any difference, but you could see the veterans here wiggling back and forth, which makes me understand that, yes, I don't see the Indiana driver in the 31 swinging back and forth, but
he's
it's
also
really
got the older
his
tires.
call. He's going to get to the Geico restart zone. Will he go early? Will he go late? He needs to change it up. That's what they say, and we'll see what he's going to do here.
Well, he's gone late the last two.
Everybody get right to the back bumpers of each other as they get ready for this restart.
He launches early this time. Kevin spins the tires a little bit. I was expecting Eric to go late again because I was thinking Kevin would expect him to go early. Kind of like you had to think the opposite of what they're thinking. George Costanza style. Look at that. Benfield the second. That might be the best move for Arnold right there.
He's going to come up and cover King, keep him from making that charge to the outside. Benfield has a huge run down into turn 3, running through the middle. They'll come off with momentum out of turn 4. King trying to come back and recover to the bottom.
6 to go.
Lap 154. King has made that bottom line work. Now he's to the back bumper of the 31. They get a little sniff of the draft. The 31 goes down to break the air. But he seems kind of settled out back, fortunately.
Arnold's going to have to make that 31 as wide as possible. Problem is King got to him.
Yeah, King got to the bottom. Eric really needs to run the car up out of turn number 2 to keep him from the outside. He's not going to be able to do it. King's going to move up. 156, King, P1. Arnold going to make the charge to the outside, drives in high, down to the white line, carves out of turn 4. Trying to find the inside, unable to do it. King covers him.
The only thing helping that 31.
Fuller to 4th.
The only thing helping the 31 right now is that draft as Benfield goes to the bottom.
They get side by side. That'll let King draw out a little bit. Benfield gets a good run to the high side, or to the low side. He's going to get down nose to nose and clear the 31 again. Fresher tires on these cars.
They're hitting each other.
Banging doors off of turn 4. That's going to open it up for Fuller, who's going to tag him. Oh, wow, that's it. That was just not going to work. The aggression there was... That's going to collect several other cars. As what a terrible end for the 31 of Eric Arnold.
Fuller, Benfield, and Arnold. And hello overtime. Nice to see
King
it.
looked up in the rearview mirror and saw that and said, holy cow, I cleared that just in time. Well, I talked about the charge, Chris, that we thought Fuller was going to make, and he figured the only way he was going to win that race is to execute that pass right there. When those two got together and slowed up the momentum, he stuck down on the bottom, but it just a little too aggressive, wasn't going to work.
Well, Benfield shut the door on him right there. And obviously Fuller's not going to lift.
He's in the grass.
Yeah.
Coming off a corner here.
Wesley.
And Eric Arnold, he came down and nicked him after hitting the wall, so...
Can't tell if Wesley got damaged there or not in the right front.
Whole bunch of everybody out of control there as the three cars battled for position. Luckily, this didn't collect even more cars, as those three up front could have cleared out half the field with that incident.
I mean, you can't. I don't know if you can blame any of them for that. I mean, it's just
hard-nosed racing, man. When you gotta go, you just gotta put your foot down and take whatever it's gonna give you. Donaldson just good heads-up racing here, seeing this come. I'm sure you could see the 51 was down in the grass.
I can't. Yeah, it looks like he's okay.
Well, this is going to line him up behind Kevin King, and he's going to get a shot for the win here. Fuller's car is killed. He's on pit road.
I mean, Benfield throws a block here. And pretty much goes across the nose of Fuller. Fuller's not lifted. Oh, yeah, okay. Wesley's okay, yeah.
I don't blame Benfield for coming down and covering the position, and I know the 51 was going to take what he could because he wanted to carry the momentum. I don't know that he expected he would tap him as hard. He was down in the grass with the block. That's just hard racing right there.
Just pulling up the schedule here really quickly. This is going to be the fourth straight race that we've had overtime. Go back to April 29th, the race at Dover went over by 7 laps. The Kansas race went over by 2, I believe. Might even been 12. I don't remember exact lap distance there. Darlington went over by 1 lap, and now we're at Charlotte.
And you just think about, what did Kevin King do to get to the lead? It was a textbook move at the right time, just patient, found the right zone. He knew he had superior tires and just waited for the opportunity to come.
Well, this is going to be interesting because now you've got, obviously, with Arnold falling out there with that wreck, everybody now is pitted at lap 135 or later. You got King and Donaldson and Jorgensen took 2 tires on that stop. Jose Gonzalez and Mike Kelly have 4 tires in 4th and 5th now.
Yeah. If Eric Arnold out of turn 4 to the start-finish line had come down and covered the groove a little bit, he could have kept Kevin from getting the nose underneath. He might have had a shot, but Kevin had such a good run through 3 and 4 to get to the lead. And unfortunately, once you have someone go around you that puts you in the position to slow up a little bit, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, they're going to get to you. And unfortunately for Eric Arnold, it ended up with his car against the safer barrier over in turn 2.
Now, with that said, the only counter to that I can think of is if Eric was worried that Kevin would get to the top. Because obviously, with fresher tires, or with older tires, the only way you can really protect any move is going in the middle. And, he tried that, and obviously Kevin overpowered him with the tires. So, I think he might have been a sitting duck no matter what, unfortunately.
He started to come down and cover it, but Kevin had such a good run that I don't think Eric could have gotten down. But if he would have pulled down and covered King, and Kevin would have had to lift because he can't drive through the car,
right?
It might have slowed his momentum, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. I don't think it's relevant to continue to discuss. But just going back and look at how did Kevin get to the lead? Textbook pass out of turn 4 to the start-finish line, give him the lead. Wesley Donaldson, though, I'm sure he's pretty hungry out there to the outside as the pace car is about to release the field to King. Let's see if Wesley has something.
Couple attaboys as we come to the green here. Patrick Colby, 7th position. Joey Jattina up to 9th. How about Cody Giles up in the top 12 right now as we go back to the green here. Overtime for the first of 2 times as Kevin gets a good launch.
I'm kind of surprised that King was out so far over Wesley. I thought Wesley would stay with him as Jorgensen Jr. able to drive underneath. He might get that second position going to the backstretch. 2 to go. Here is good run for the 91 off turn 2. I don't know. Is it possible Donaldson wanted this second position to see if he could draft up and execute a late pass?
It's possible. We're going to find out right now. White flag, final lap here from Charlotte. As Jorgensen and Donaldson battle it out, and they try to draft up to Kevin at the same time here, leaning on each other almost.
Yeah, King is out a little too far for these guys to track him down, so the race is going to be for second here. Who's going to bring him back?
Fourth straight race we've had overtime, and for the 3rd time in those 4 races, Kevin King is going to score the win this time. The Never Quit 240 goes to Kevin King. And a wreck.
Donaldson able to get back through out of turn 4 to pull off of Jorgensen. He's going to finish second with Jorgensen Jr. in that 3rd position. It'll be Gonzalez and Mike Kelly rounding out your top 5 here tonight at Charlotte.
And Kevin just continues to rack up the wins now.
Charles Van Schaik coming back for 9th.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be
8th.
Probably disappointed in that, but easily felt he probably had a car that could have won this race.
Patriotic burnout on the front straightaway as Kevin King continues to dominate the series. And a little wave to the beaten and banged number 10 time car. Oh, crunch. Can you do reverse donuts?
Well, I got somebody who in another league does the, we call it the moonwalk. Throws all the front brake into front and does a backwards burnout.
Right. What are they going to have to do to stop the dominance of Kevin King? He just continues to put the package together and win week after week.
I mean, once again, another victory on the 1.5-mile tracks for this 29 car. This time it took a little extra work with the strategies and everything coming into play, but he goes to victory lane again tonight as King wins this Never Quit 240 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Of course, tonight again as we pay tribute again to Bryce Whitson, but also at the same time, from Judah, Judah, the grandson to Stoney Benfield. And of course, tonight we're also raising money for Brian Wortman, and we'll talk about that again before we get off the air. But how about Kevin King winning this race? Wesley Donaldson second, Mark Jorgensen third, Jose Gonzalez, Mike Kelly finishes 5th, Anthony Calantoni, Patrick Colby finishes 7th, Van Schaik 8th, Kevin Brown 9th, Chad Coleman ends up 10th, Jattina 11th, Cody Giles 12th, Bobby Wetzel 13th, Tyler Dalton and Scott Stenzel your top 15. Rest of the field here, Rivera, Alan Wild, Randy Yoakum, Donnie Leah, Justin Mons ends up 20th. Doug Sigmund 21st, Gerald Livingston 22nd, Eric Arnold 23rd, Richard Beasley 24th, Scott Simley 25th, Fuller 26th, Wortman 27th, Kevin Stone 28th, Schrader and Friery 30th, Comstock, Benfield, Hudson, Parker, Radalasso 35th, 36th to Brian Macklin, Karlovage, Stone, and Mike Montesi ends up last out of the 39 drivers in the race here this evening. But a wild one here at Charlotte Motor Speedway tonight. And our third place finisher is the driver of the 88 Diet Mountain Dew car, and that's Mark Jorgensen, who gets himself a top 3. Mark, obviously, congratulations. I know it was a tough race, one that maybe for a little bit looked like you might be one to watch, but unfortunately just a little short at the end.
These guys are so freaking good. You know, when you're up there leading, you're like, oh man, you know, I'm just out there walking the dog, right? You know, just on easy street. And then you got Kevin King, restart from way back. I'm like, you know, I was licking my chops, like, I want to race guys straight up. You know, I don't want nobody to get crashed out. But I mean, it wouldn't have bothered me if Kevin King got wrecked out or Wesley Donaldson or whatever. But these guys are so good, man. And you know, when the checkered flag is in sight, you know, I mean, that's like I was telling the guys in Discord, right? You know, I think Kevin's fastest lap was a low 4. And that same lap, I turned a mid 5. I'm like, dude, that son of a gun is just whooping us. And we're trying, Chris. I mean, we're giving it all we got. I mean, we're trying, buddy.
Hey, it's fun in the end. I know it's turned into this. Unfortunately, you get a lot of late issues throughout the race.
Yeah.
With these cautions and things, and throws everything into a loop. And I mean, I think points wise, obviously, that you know, it's got to look kind of promising for you. I'm actually looking for you here.
I'm way down on the list. I think this is my best finish of the season, so I'm gonna gain several spots, which is great.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you're gonna jump up at least 5 to 10 spots here with this move here. So that you know, all you gotta do is get to 20th. So
right.
Take the wins where you get them here, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, we're gonna try hard every week. I mean, I love Charlotte. I mean, we ran the 600 in the Racers Elite Series, you know, yesterday. You know, 600 miles around this place. So, you know, I got plenty of practice, but man, I'm telling you, these guys are so fast. And yeah, so, you know, the beginning of the race, you know, I was actually surprised how everybody was taking it easy. I mean, I was lifting, you know, real early for the corner, and I think there was a lot of respect. And I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a league race or if it's an official race. You know, when there's late restarts, you know, guys are, you know, throw caution to the wind, right? You know, they're going to try to get every spot they can get, which I understand it. But you know, man, I tell you, I want to win so bad. You know, like I said, these guys are so good, and they're making me try really, really hard. And I just don't know if I'm just abusing my stuff. I just need to get Kevin in here. I need to talk to him. I need to get some pointers.
Kevin's right here.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay, Kevin. Right. Hey, I'll take pointers from everybody, man. You know, I've been doing this, you know, 9-10 years or whatever, and I'm still learning. And you know, this car right here, this next gen car is it's a different animal from the previous years back, you know, with those style of stock cars. So, you know, I'm definitely learning every time I get in these things. And I mean, it's fun, but you know, when guys are just outdoing you, man, you know, I'm telling you, man, my tongue's hanging out just about every lap, you know, trying to get what I can get. And one of these days I'm going to be in victory lane. I just need Kevin to miss races. That's what I need.
Well, hey, great job tonight, man. Congratulations, and send some shout outs.
Thanks, Chris. Obviously, y'all for the broadcast. I can't wait to go back and watch, man. I think, you know, there was a few laps, 68 in particular. I think it was me and Brian Macklin on the front row for that restart. And, man, we was flat out through the corner, and, you know, he got loose, and I thought we was about to wreck. So I cannot wait to go back and watch the broadcast, see some of the good racing. I said it yesterday in my interview with those guys, but Joey Katina, all the admins for Sim500, basically a huge shout out for all the people out there on iRacing that put this stuff together, you know, their heart and soul hardly charge us anything to come out and race and have a place to call home. You know, those guys that do that and create these places for us to race, man, I can't give a huge shout out enough for all of those guys that put forth all that effort. You know, I used to race the official stuff, you know, years ago, but the league stuff is where it's at. And I found two really good leagues that I look forward to it each and every week. But obviously, all the guys in the Discord chat, Joe Hudson, Brian Wortman, Doug Sigmund, Joey Gatina, myself. I'm sure I'm missing some. There's a lot of us. You know, I just love, you know, when you get a handful of guys in a Discord chat that race each other respectfully, you know, understand the give and take, right? You know, there's points in the race where it's time to go, and there's several points in the race when it's time to just chill and let other guys go and burn their stuff up. But a huge shout out to all the guys in the race tonight. Like I said, the first, you know, 3/4 of the race was absolutely amazing. You know, several laps, you know, some green flag pit stops. That's what it's all about, man. You know, once you start doing those green flag pit stops, you know, it starts separating the field out a bunch, and then you can just kind of manage your car. But my heavy right foot for keeping that gas pedal down, my left and right hand for steering this son of a gun through the corners, you know, sideways, this, that, and the other. But I think that's about it, man. It's time for a cold beer and a shower.
That a boy, as he moves up 6 spots to 28th in points. As he gets that climb up, he's only 29 out of 20th. So you're right there, brother.
We're going to get there, Chris. We're going to get there.
All right, man. Hey, good job tonight.
Yep, thank you.
Yes, sir. Mark Jorgensen Jr. there, the third place finisher in the 88 car, the old Dale Jr. machine, as he does a good job tonight with his race. We'll get him. I was stalling there for a second because I was hitting some buttons.
Oh, it's all good. I'll stay up here and continue talking. It don't matter.
I'm good with that. Hey, I'm good with whatever.
Hey, man, I got a lot to say, man. You know, I just don't know if the people that are watching want to listen to me. You know, I'm sure they want to hear, you know, the Wesley Donaldsons, the Kevin Kings, and whatnot. You know, man, I'll tell you, Chris, one of these days I'm going to win one of these races.
I need his energy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm jacked up. I'm ready to go again.
Nice. Hey, good job tonight, man.
Yep. Thanks, Chris.
You too. I seriously need his energy.
That's pretty good after that.
Yeah, no offense to Wes. He's got to follow that one up. Go ahead, Kev.
Well, Wes, he doesn't know what he just stepped into. I want to go back, Wesley Donaldson, and talk about lap 157, that incident coming across the start-finish line where the 3 cars got together. Take us through your version of that. What happened out front?
Well, I probably need a change of pants. That's the first thing. But beyond that, I mean, I saw Fuller going 3 wide. I couldn't really tell who got into who. All I know is I saw a lane to the bottom, and my spotter was yelling at me, telling me to go low and just stay low. So, I mean, I thought I was going to get caught up in it maybe, like somebody was going to come down and clip me, but I think I got a little lucky.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Fuller was down in the grass. They were doing a little do-si-do. You might have even nicked them just a bit. You were down below the apron coming off the corner, and I'm sure you had to peek up in the rearview mirror to see what the aftermath was.
Yeah, and then I'm glad the caution came out because that would have been a bad spot. I was sliding all the way up the track through one, just trying to avoid that wreck there, kind of being on the apron. But yeah, it was a little scary, not gonna lie.
So as you reset, you're sitting on the outside of Kevin King coming back for the restart. What did you need to get around Kevin in that final stint?
I think the only shot I was gonna have was if I've never been the greatest at restarts for one, but just trying not to jump the start and everything. The only shot I was gonna have was coming off 2 if I could have cleared the 88. I had a big run, but just not quite enough to get around Mark there. So once we got side by side, I knew it was pretty much over at that point. I tried again through 1 and 2 the next time by just to pinch him down as much as I could, hoping he would get a little tight and have to lift, and maybe I could get a run down the back and get to Kevin's bumper or something, but it just didn't happen, unfortunately.
We wondered if you were going to get a draft enough to maybe make a run there, but being side by side with Mark, yeah, hard to say. Kevin got really good jump on you, and it was pretty much difficult from there to see if you could wrestle through. But you know what? Let's go back and replay the race. Talk about the track conditions. It was a really up and down night for you, but in the end, a second place finish, certainly from the season that you have endured, but yet you continue to come back and put together this type of run to recover from your early season troubles. This is the way to turn it around.
Yeah, I'm glad to be finishing up here, maybe a little bit more consistently. I think I've finished top 3 5 times now. Beyond that, I've been wrecked every race, but somehow ended up in the right spots. But throughout this race, it was hard to tell kind of where I sat at this. I'm not a big fan of Charlotte. This is probably my worst mile and a half. I just usually can't get a grip on the place, but got kind of off cycle there with that first stop. I knew I was doing decent though, because towards the end of those runs, even with a little bit older tires, I was hanging in there pretty well, and even like making up some time on some guys that had significantly newer tires. So I knew if we got a long run, I'd be okay. I just didn't think I'd be much higher than maybe right inside the top 10, maybe top 5 if I was lucky. But once again, we got that caution kind of late there, around 30 to go or so, and I knew what the call was going to be, 2 tires pretty much anytime the caution came out there in the last 50 laps. So I knew I was going to be at least in a decent spot. It was just a matter of capitalizing at that point.
How was the car on 2 tires? Any difficulties?
It feels pretty good. It here it doesn't get as loose as what some tracks does when you go on 2. So you pack it full of fuel, which isn't really normal for that scenario. But just like kind of last week at Darlington when on 2 tires, it takes sometimes a lap or 2 to kind of get going. But once it gets going, it feels really good. It's definitely a bit freer, a bit more on the neutral side compared to being a bit tight like it would have like on 4 tires. So for me, there was no other option but going on 2 there at the end.
Yeah, this is one of those races that the prediction of trying to figure out how the strategy is going to work out is near impossible. You just run the race and take what you can get, and in the end, sure, you're pretty happy with the second place finish. There's got to be a win right around the corner for you.
I'd hope so. I mean, I finished second behind Kevin here like 3 times now, so I got to end up in front of him at some point, I would think, but never know.
Yeah. How about it? Anybody want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, just thanks to everybody here at Sim500, all the admins that help put everything on here. Thanks to 811 for sponsoring the series. Thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast. Love going back and listening every week. Thanks to my spotter Jason for being on top of the box again. He's been winning more races than me lately, so maybe I need to start listening to him a little bit more. And then shout out to my Instagram page, WBD Diecast, where I make custom diecast for current day NASCARs, older NASCAR, iRacing paint schemes, anything, you name it.
There you go, Wesley Donaldson, 15th in the points. You're coming out of the basement, climbing the stairs. You're, I think, to the first floor right now. Got to get to the penthouse by the end of the season. Come on, you can do it.
One step at a time.
There you go. Kevin King is sitting in the waiting room, but we're going to say thanks to Wesley for the support. And great race tonight, second place finish. And now we'll turn over to Chris, who's caught up with Kevin.
And the one thing Wesley can say really quickly is his partner can have all the wins he wants to. Just championship checks, all he's got to say.
Exactly.
So,
by the way, Mark,
he has a chance at a championship tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes.
Mark is taking notes in there. Yeah, good call on that, Wes. Go get you another one. How's that?
Keep talking to you guys. He's down there chatting with Kevin in the channel.
We saw that. Well, no, I was pointing out that Wes just won the Friday Night Midnight Thunder Series again, so Wes has got all these championships while Jason's winning races. So there's a little difference there. It's kind of like checkmate, you know. But anyways, yeah, and you noticed it. I think you called him because now it's Kevin by himself down here again. So,
yeah.
But yeah, so appreciate Wes's time there. Is hang on, that's his Mark took off, I think. All right, so Kev, what did Mark say?
He said he liked my paint scheme, which is cool. So I like it too.
He was ready to. He wanted to know what you were like. He wanted to know what you were up to.
Wants to know your trade secrets.
Oh, yeah, we talked a little bit about that. I don't really have any secrets. I just, I don't know. I have a knack for this car, I guess. I like this track. I think this track was my best start in Coke last year. So that was, I have some speed here, but it all kind of just worked out in my favor. Obviously, started early and then didn't pit, got passed by tires, which was okay. And then as soon as I pit, the yellow came out, which it's typical for me. Went to 18th, and I felt like we got back up there, but we were never going to catch the guys in front. Like they were like 5-6 seconds ahead, and I was never going to catch them. So took 2 tires. I was like, well, Adam, screw it. Let's just take 2 tires and see what happens. This thing's so tight. Surely it can't make it worse. And it was a lot better. I got up to Jose, which I don't know if I was going to pass because at that point the tires were kind of worn out. And then I said, let's take 2 tires again. And here we are, victory lane. So we'll take it.
Yeah, obviously a very tough race there because you mentioned the caution that comes out during the middle of the first round of green flag pit stops there. Of course, you guys pitted at the caution at 17 and looked like you went fuel only. And it's almost like, and correct me if I'm wrong, did you guys decide to go ahead and pit with the others to put yourself back on strategy with them? Because I noticed you come to pit road before a lot of those guys came to pit road who pitted at that 17 mark and ended up helping them out.
Yeah, I think the problem was if we had a quick yellow, because I was in 18th, but it was realistically almost like 30th because all the lap cars were between us. So by the time I got within the lead lap cars, I was so far back that I wasn't going to create, I wasn't going to take that gap down. Right. So it was just kind of like, let's take 2, let's, gain some time there and see what it does. Because if we took 4, we weren't going to catch them. We had to do something different. If I stayed out, the way the tire was falling off and the way the speeds were falling off, you'd have to go I think we had another almost 30 laps of fuel, but it didn't make sense unless we could have made it on fuel, which we couldn't. So it was just kind of those things where it's like, I think I'm just in a box. Let me just gamble and take 2. We try to get some track position and see what happens after that. And it worked out. Yeah, it definitely, to start, it wasn't optimal to kind of put us in that position. It's not like we tried to do that, but it felt like at the time we had the extra set of tires and it made more sense to kind of, once we got up there to pit. But yeah, it was definitely a wild one. I mean, we only had so many wrecks. They're kind of interesting wrecks, but it was a fun race overall. Everyone was pretty respectful, very hard to pass, but it was super fun. I enjoyed it.
How big was it for you to get yourself up through the field there? Because obviously that middle part of the race, we go green for a very long time, but you were able to still work your way up through the cycle pit stops there and get yourself up into the top 5, which allowed you to take the 2 tires to kind of set yourself up to be there.
Oh, that was it. I mean, once I knew I was in the top 5, I felt like I had option. It was just going to be depending on what the people ahead of me did to see if it would actually work out. And if I didn't slide through my pit ever so slightly, I think it would have started second. And if Eric hadn't stayed out, I would have started first. So realistically, it was a correct call. But getting up there, as hard as it was to pass, it was very critical. I mean, you could air block and you could just drive on someone's door. You could downshift, which was, not the most fun thing to do. I don't really like doing that, but it was so tight you had to kind of do that sometimes. But I think getting through the field and making sure that at least I gave myself an option versus, if I did it in 10th, there's, 3 other guys are probably going to do it. Then I'm 4th if that happens. So it definitely was key. And I had to drive really hard to kind of make that happen. And I just got pretty fortunate with some of the yellows there finally after the fact, not to start, but at the end, it kind of helped me out a little bit to make the strategy work. But yeah, I drove really hard. I think I was like 10th and a half faster in qualifying. That's how fast 2 tires are, especially with the 100 lap lefts. So it definitely like 2 tires with less fuel for sure.
Yeah, you ran your fastest laps passing Eric there on that restart. I'm not sure if you went fast. I didn't get to see it, but I know you ran 2 of your fastest laps as you were passing Eric for the lead. So if that says enough, I think you ran 29.4s those 2 laps.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, great job tonight, man. Congratulations. Get yourself another win. And by the way, you're batting 750 this month with overtime finishes.
Well, that's good. I wish I was batting 1,000. But I want to keep doing this. I want to keep, try to be the best that I can and, put it out there and hopefully put myself in a good position when it all comes down to it towards the end of the season. Gateway is a really, really good track for me. That's probably, I think at this point, probably my second best track, if not my first best track. So I'm super looking forward to that. Wesley said, or Mark said, that's the next track that's coming up. And I'm like, okay, that's awesome. Hopefully it's in the daytime. At nighttime, it'll be okay. It's just the track cools down so much that you don't get the tire fall off as much. So it's going to be harder to pass. But I'm definitely looking forward to that. And as always, looking forward to the broadcast and stuff because you guys do such a great job. It's super fun watching.
We gotta find a way for you to start kind of making something up there about hating tracks because we want to keep the people showing up. But no, side note here real quickly. Right before that first caution, I literally had started to open my mouth. I said, Kevin, we're about to get the battle we've been waiting on all season. And the caution comes out as Beasley's going to your outside.
Yeah, no, I know. Beasley, you know what's funny? I confused him because Josh kept his Frito car that I did for him. And I saw Josh was ahead of us, and for some reason Beasley was coming on strong because he was hot lapping his little heart out. Bless him. And I thought I saw him get in front of me and pull away, and then like 5 laps later, I'm like, God, Beasley's gone. And then I realized like that's actually Josh. I was like, where did he go? So I didn't see him the rest of the race. I thought he passed me, and I thought he was ahead of me, and I was a little disappointed with that. I was like, man, this guy, what's he doing? Like, he's got to fall off or something. But it was Josh. So I didn't see Beasley until I pit. He was stuck in the pits. I don't know if he sped or something. He was in there for a while, and then I think he was a lap car at some point. But he had a career day. I think he finished 24th or something. So props to him. He's, I feel bad for Beasley. I pick on him a lot. He's a good friend of mine, but I also pick on him because his Braves suck right now, and he lost to the Padres. And so not only did I beat him tonight, I can also say that he lost to the Padres all weekend, including today. And I'm not even a Padres fan. I just want to make sure he knows that. So we'll make sure he's
Sorry. I was going to say, does it become insanity when Braves fans watch all 162 games when they know when their season's going to end in the first round?
You think for him, but he just goes to the he waits to the football season, then he takes his Fins stuff out, and he has those out for about 4 games. When they lose 4 in a row, then he puts that away and he gets ready for Clemson season.
Geez.
And then when they suck, he waits for baseball. It's like a cyclical thing for them. I have it down pretty well. He doesn't really have a driver. He says he's a Blaney fan, but he never talks about Blaney, but only when Blaney wins. He's like one of those. So
that's
when Blaney wins, if Blaney wins, he's a fan, but most of the time he's pretty quiet through the NASCAR season. But I love Beasley. I was waiting for him to show up on the start finish line again, and sure as hell, here he comes, little orange car popping up, trying to finish all the laps again or something. I don't know. So I had to make sure I had to do burnouts right in his doors so he heard it.
That's awesome. Yeah, he that start of the race, he went from, I think it was like 17th to like 3rd.
Yeah.
Before that caution, and we're like, okay, he's got something here, and then of course he gets trapped a lap down 3/4 of the race. But
yeah, no, he was like I said, he was digging. I just think it would have been interesting seeing. I think a lot of people that ran hard early, including myself, were probably going to pay the price later. And I think he probably would have done it too. Either you get super tight. I think my right front was 30% more after one of those runs. It was pretty bad, but I think he probably would have felt that a little bit. But again, the track position was so important, it probably didn't matter too much.
Well, great job tonight, man. Send some shout outs.
I want to thank you guys, Joey, for putting up with everyone. Rev Grips, again, if you guys are into mountain biking, know people that are into mountain biking, they make these pretty cool grips that save your wrists as you go mountain biking at revgrips.com. A buddy of mine here locally makes them out of his shop. Pretty sick shop. But appreciate everyone, all the vets and stuff for Memorial Day. I had obviously a special paint scheme, created like a little decal for it too. I was kind of bored, and I thought that looked neat. We appreciate all of those guys and men and women that have helped us along the way. And hopefully we have a good week, and hope everyone has a safe weekend and holiday. And we'll come back at Gateway and try to put another one together.
There you go, man. Hey, great job. And let's go out to Worldwide Technology of Gateway Raceway and the Speedway of Illinois and Missouri.
I don't know why they just call it Gateway.
Yeah. Good job.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Buddy. Of course, Kevin King, the winner here tonight again at Charlotte, as he wins this Never Quit 240 and what was an up and down battle everywhere on the track here this evening. So congratulations to him on another victory here tonight as he adds to his impressive season so far. And Kevin, another race in the books, but this one, obviously more in particular, is one that hits home to this league. Obviously, as for the 5th season now, they paid tribute to Bryce Whitson, who of course was a league member, obviously before I was around here. And obviously it's somebody I knew. I knew who he was. Obviously I can't ever remember a time I raced against him. I'm sure I did somewhere. But obviously I've heard nothing but positive things about him. And I know this league cared about him and stuff, and that's why they put this race for him. Of course, not to take anything away from obviously the grandson of Stoney Venfield, who, of course, has been under his own battle. And I know Stoney wasn't here tonight, but I'm sure Stoney will watch the broadcast, or some of his friends will. And obviously, we always got young Judah in our prayers for his battle as he continues. And then, of course, tonight, raising some money to help out Brian Wortman. So if you want to do that again, make sure you reach out to Joey Jatina on Discord, or myself, and I can get you to Joey, or the Facebook page of Sim500, and we'll get you taken care of and in the right spot there. But, Kev, we look at the points here. It's the Kevin King Show, up 54 on Tyler Dalton. But we go down here to the bubble because we are starting to see some big movements. Kevin DeBrown up 5 spots. Charles Van Schaik up 6. Mark Jorgensen up 6. Of course, if people climb, that means people have to fall. Not pictured here. Rod Mitten fell 11 spots in the points from 20th to 31st in the points here this evening. Ron Alasso down 5. Friery down 4. So obviously you're starting to see, and look, Cody Giles moves up 3 spots, so he kind of gets himself back in there. So I think you're going to see a lot of change here as this gets really tight now here in this probably roughly, 14th, we'll call it, down to 28th to 30th in points. We're going to see a lot of movement here as we get closer to the playoffs.
Yeah, I think change is the operable word. We saw it tonight in the race. The change of complexion in this race was what Charlotte's all about. I love this racetrack, and I think we're going to see a lot of that as the summer comes to pass. We are just railing through the season. It's unbelievable that we're to the Memorial Day weekend already, and I'll tell you, Kevin has been out front, but I really suspect that we're going to see some of these guys start to pick up the steam as we come through. And yeah, it was a great race. Joey Jatina, 11th place, almost a top 10. Good on him. And Chad Coleman came back for a top 10. Charles Van Schaik really showed me something tonight. Pretty excited about his run, and I just love what we saw tonight. Let's get more of this.
Yeah, let me turn my microphone back on. Hey, I agree 100%. And let's, we take the week off next week, by the way, for those curious. We do not come back until the first week of June when we are at Gateway, of course, for the next race on the schedule. So FYI on that, make a note, we will not be here next Monday because of Memorial Day. So please do enjoy your times with your family. And more importantly, think about those that we've lost in battle, either currently or in the past, that have fought for this country, because obviously this is, to quote Mike Joy, he always says it perfectly. It's the most somberest of holidays that I don't even know if I feel right celebrating is the word, but we pay tribute to those. And for them doing what they do for us, we get to go out and enjoy our times with our families and stuff. So let's do that, and we'll come back a week from Monday at Gateway and do it all over again. But again, Sunday we're off too, so just a reminder, if you're going to Charlotte, Kev, obviously be careful.
Yes,
I'm hearing that a very big time official in the United States offices might be at the track. I'm not going to mention any names because I could just see where that goes. So they could get interesting down that way. But yes, there's a couple places in my mind that might have to send you a message with a couple of name places you can go try some food at. So, but there's some cool places there. The mall there across from the track, there's a aquarium place there. It's really cool. My sister-in-law worked there at one point. Yeah, there's plenty of good spots there. Really awesome.
Hook me all up. I'm excited to get the 411 because I've never been there, obviously. So
nice.
Yep.
Well, we'll see what happens, man. Hey, appreciate your time. Go enjoy the week off, and we'll talk in June, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. So appreciate Kevin England for joining us, of course, each and every Monday night. Big shout out to 811 for allowing us to be a part of the broadcast. Of course, if you're in any state in the lower 48, you can, of course, dial 811 and call before you dig, especially as we start working our way into the summertime. Of course, storms have been ramping up everywhere. If you're in those areas that have been affected, obviously we think about you guys and send thoughts and prayers out to those areas. But let's all stay safe. Let's all remember the reason why this holiday's here, and that's for the ones that we've lost. And let's go enjoy what is the best weekend in racing coming up here on Sunday. So we Wish everybody the best in Memorial Day weekend, and we go home from there. Always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
This copyrighted broadcast may be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.